Ayo, ayo, ayo. Oh, crispy sounds right there. What is up, everybody? Welcome to the KillJoy Jake YouTube channel. It is Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen, and as we always do here on Tuesdays, 3 o'clock live streams. I'm just kidding. No stream yesterday because it was Labor Day, and I decided to take my first lazy day for the first time in 2 months. And it was nice. I watched a lot of Indonesian horror flicks. That's all I did. I watched, what did I watch? I watched Immaculate. I watched May the Devil Take You. What else did I watch? I watched Impedagore. Oh, Impedagore's really good. But I watched a bunch of fun movies. And then late last night, I got the what the fuck's going on kind of thing, basically. The big ol' announcement, big ol' nasty Reese's Peanut Butter Cup commercial that we've all been raving about all day. So I am hyped as hell to talk a little bit about Scream today, ladies and gentlemen. Throw out any thoughts and theories that you may have, but one big disclaimer that I want to get into before we get into anything today is let's please refrain from talking spoilers. Now, I know that they're out there. I know that literally everybody and their mother is talking about them online, but some people don't want them spoiled here. So let's just try to keep spoilers away from today's chat. Listen, if they get revealed in whatever this new teaser trailer is that's supposedly coming out soon, well, then yeah, it's free game. But as of right now, it could be something that someone just leaked for whatever reason, some way, somehow. So let's just not talk spoilers regarding that leaked opening scene. Again, if it gets revealed in the trailer, then yeah, it's free game. But for right now, let's not get into it. Because and we're not blocking anybody if you talk spoilers. People are going to come in and throw it out there. We're well aware of that. Everybody's talking about it. But a lot of people don't want to get spoiled. I didn't want to get it spoiled myself. I'm bummed that I know it. I would have loved to have seen that for the first time. Without knowing it, just like think the Scream 5 and the Scream 6 opening scenes, which had some pretty big surprises, love it or hate it. That they had some shocks and surprises that I wouldn't have wanted to know before I saw those. So let's just, again, let's not talk about it. We can talk about literally anything else. I mean, I will talk about, we can talk about other crazy theories, ideas, this, that, the other, whatever. But there are just some things that we don't, that folks don't want to know before it happens. So let's say hi to some of the folks hanging out with us right now. We have official Mig on Tiv saying, Jake, hope you're doing well. I just became 25 years old today, and I really don't know how I feel about that. It's okay, my friend. If it makes you feel any better, I'm turning 27 in like 22 days. So yeah, 27 club, baby. A lot of rock stars die at that age. I'll leave you with that. Might make you feel a little better. King Matthew III is saying, what's up, Jake? How are you doing today? I officially got married to my fiance yesterday. Hey, yo, congratulations, dude. Very good stuff. I'm so happy for you, my friend. Love to hear it. Love to hear it. I'm excited for the baby coming along as well. I know you told us about that recently. Let us know if you have any names, if you've figured out if it's a boy or a girl and all that fun stuff yet. I don't know. We need updates though, King Matthew. We need updates. You also have a theory for Scream 7 is that it's the start of Sydney's final story. Maybe 7 ends on a cliffhanger leading into 8, where she fights Stu in 8, and once Stu is dead, Sydney retires officially. No one else is coming. After Stu is dead, she just doesn't care anymore. She's like, I need to drop 2 TVs on his head this time. What was I thinking? Flamingo Productions is saying, hi, the Jack. That's me. Let's get this jungle horror cruise going. Oh, I like that. Jungle horror cruise. I need that movie. Dwayne Johnson, call him up. He's not too busy with the Smashing Machine, is he? Let's get Jungle Cruise 2 horror trip or something. I'm into it. Eric Hollis is saying it's Jake, not Jack. Maybe it's Jack. Maybe I'm Killboy Jack today. No, I'm just kidding. What's up, Eric? How's it going? Hey, yo, Cinepixel's hanging out with us too. What's up? How many of you all make fanfic here? Well, oh God. Stu and Sydney got real intimate that night. No. We're done. We're stopping that right now. Paula Fitzhenry is saying hi. Hi, Paula. Thank you for being a channel member. Greatly appreciate you. If you thought I talked fast before, wait until you've seen me on Alani. I don't know who was there for the gaming stream the other night, but I had like 5 cups of coffee that day, and it was like I was on a substance of some sort. That's all I'm going to say. I was electric the other night. One of the better streams I think we've ever had on the gaming channel, if you missed that. We're going live tonight on the gaming channel too. I know usually Tuesdays and Thursdays are reserved for gaming streams. We are still doing that tonight. So I know everything kind of got fucked up with Labor Day, but we are still doing a 7 o'clock stream tonight over there. I just have not set it up yet. I've been very busy posting shorts and videos, as you may have seen. Anyways, Paul is asking, Jake, what did you think of all the rumors going around about the first trailer for Scream 7? Well, at first I thought it was total BS, and, you know, y'all, I stand corrected. I think we're actually getting something this week, which would be pretty damn cool. We got a lot of signs that point toward it now, and I kind of just am like, yeah, okay, shit, so maybe we are getting something. I can't complain, though, because it sounds like we're getting like a doubled marketing campaign than what we got with the previous 2 entries, and it makes sense. I mean, ultimately, Scream 7 has had a rough go. I mean, there's been some just left and right, lots of bad updates, things leaking. I mean, we just had a pretty disastrous update not just a few days ago, so I understand why Spyglass and Paramount probably want to flip the script a little bit, be like, hey, this is actually pretty fucking cool, guys. Come on and check out the movie. And, you know, here's the thing, even if things leak, it doesn't mean they're not cool. That's kind of how I look at it. Like, just because I know what's going to happen in the opening scene doesn't make it less cool to me. It just makes it less surprising, which sucks. That's kind of one of my favorite things about going to a Scream movie for the first time, is having that surprise, just being like, oh my God. Like that Scream 6 opening, man, I will never forget how excited I got for that. That was the coolest shit ever. And I kind of want to have a moment like that again with Scream 7, and I hope I do. So we'll see. Hopefully the whole thing doesn't leak online beforehand, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. And as always, fellas, I can't type and talk at the same time. I'll talk Scream for another hour if we get 10 of those banging super chats within the next 60 minutes, of course. That's how this usually rolls. So let's keep on going. We got Erica hanging out with us. Thanks for modding today, Erica. Appreciate you a ton. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What's up, what's up? Hey, hey, hey. RJ Skarenki is saying, what if another part of Sid's family was the killer, someone like a childhood friend? I could totally see it being someone connected to the previous events. You know what I mean? 100%. Could see that with this story. This one feels like it's going back to the roots of Scream, you know, where we started. Something from the past is coming back, being dug up to once again be revealed here. So I wouldn't be shocked if that was the case. But, you know, at the same time, I kind of like the simplicity of something where it's just the ghost face to end all ghost faces, which is a theory we've talked about a little bit on the page before. Like this idea of, I want to bring Sydney out of the, you know, out of the darkness and be the person under the mask to finally take her out. Like that would be such a really cool motive for a ghost face. It's like, this is such a popular killer in this universe. You know what I mean? The ghost face killings are like, it has to be the most insane real life serial killer story ever in this universe. Think about if that really happened in real life. You know, if people were donning a certain mask to go after somebody multiple times. I mean, if that really happened in the real world, that would be like the craziest true crime story ever. Like nothing would top that. Are you kidding me? That's insane. So that's got to be super popular in universe, not just because of the Stab movies, but also just because of Sidney Prescott, you know, the real life story. And I think it would just be dope to see a ghost face with that motive, essentially kind of falling into like the true crime thing of, well, I just want to be the one to take out Sidney Prescott. I don't really have a movie related motive or any connection to Woodsboro or anything that happened during those movies. It's literally just, I want to don the mask. I want to kill Sidney Prescott. Like bottom line, I would love something like that. We think it's this big grand motive, this big connection to the original, and then it's literally just the most petty, like greasiest motive a ghost face could have. That would be awesome. That would be a great misdirection in my opinion. So I'm really hoping it's something like that. Hoping it's a cool meta motive along those lines. Those are my favorite from the franchise, the meta ones. Mickey's motive, fucking awesome. 10 out of 10. I love the idea that he wants to blame the movies for killing people and potentially get away with it. Like, that's so petty. Like, fuck you, Mickey. You're awesome, you dickhead. I would love to see something with that kind of energy again for our lead ghost face. That would be fun. I think Scream 2, it is the best sequel, but the one thing I would change about it, Scream 2, the one thing I would change about it is make Mickey your lead ghost face. You change that, it's the best sequel. It unarguably, it's the best one. If you change that one little thing, just flip that around with Mrs. Loomis and Mickey. That would be the coolest fucking shit ever. I would bow down, praise the altar of Scream 2 if they had Mickey as the focal ghost face of that film. Anyways, we got some more people rolling in. A ton of folks. Man, we got a ton of folks today. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today, talking a little Scream. What's up? What's up? What are we thinking about? What are we thinking about this trailer? Is it coming? Is it part of The Conjuring Last Rites? I want to know your thoughts on this. Obviously, one of the big things to talk about for sure. Gelato is saying, does anyone know if they used the real Stu Macher house in Tamales, California, and shot on location for Scream 7? I'm not 100% sure, but again, my friends, I'll say this one more time. We are not talking spoilers for that opening scene. We'll talk about the location. That's as far as we'll go, Gelato. But we're not going to talk about anything else that we know about this opening. I don't want to talk about the who or how it wraps up. Those are the two other big things that have been revealed, and we don't really want to spoil that for too many people. If y'all want to seek that out yourselves, go nuts, but we don't want to spoil any more than just the location for folks out there. But I'm curious to see if that's the case or not. If they did shoot on location or what the gist is there. Michael's throwing 5 out there. Thank you so much, my friend. Really appreciate the support. Saying, Jakey, my hunky funky monkey. That's me. How do you get sexier every stream? I keep missing your streams due to work, but I'm back, baby. Oh, you got a triple X right at the end there, Michael. I'm all hot and bothered now. Oh, swoon, I say, as sweat drips from my forehead. I need a sip of something. Michael, thank you for the 5, my friend. I really appreciate it. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for bringing some hot and bothered energy to this stream. I think we really needed it. I was talking about 28 years later. So I did get to talk about dong a lot today. So it's trust me, this page is not any less sexier than how you left it, if that's what you're worried about. Because I know it sounds like you've been working a lot lately. So you're like, I can't make the streams. But don't you worry, my friend. It's only gotten sexier around here. But Michael, thank you for the 5, though, my friend. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the support. What else is going on? Noel Hutchinson is saying, I can see it starting off from inside a mental hospital with Stu being took out by a new set of killers. So they're like bringing him out. He's in a hospital or something, and the cult is bringing him back out. They're like, we need you, leader. We need you, great leader. Tell us what to do. How are we going to take down Sydney? David DeChico saying Scream 7 should spoof the 1990 TMNT movie. Hey, don't you be talking trash about the Turtles, baby. Come on now. Instead of Shredder hyping up the teenage foot soldiers, have Stu hype up teenage ghost faces. By the way, Skeet Ulrich plays a foot soldier in that movie. What? No fucking way. Are you serious? I'm rewatching that. I'm actually rewatching that tonight. That's one of my favorite movies, and I'm not even saying that as a joke. You know the part where you can see the guy in the costume when like the one turtle laughs? That's the best part of that whole movie. It's so good. It's 10 out of 10. The Turtles movies from the 90s, unmatched family movies. There's nothing better than that. Come on now. ASMR Ty is saying, Jake with the Alani, you're damn right, baby. I'm drinking the flavor that my fiance does not like. She is not a fan of artificial cherry, so that's what I'm drinking. That's what I'm sipping on, not sponsored. Ghostface is saying, hello, Jake. So how many killers do you think this film will have? I'm definitely thinking at least 2. You know what I mean? I can't imagine they go back to like 1 or 3 or something. This is a return to form. Like, I feel like we're going to have 2 killers again. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is going back to not ancient Scream, but just like old school. It's going to be an old school Scream movie telling a new story. That's old school formula, new story. That's kind of how I feel this one's going to be set up. Definitely 2 killers, though. Austin Daniels is saying, Mickey is my goat. I think he's the best killer. I think he should have lived. We could have seen the trial play out in Scream 3. Dude, I actually kind of love that. That would have been awesome. Just have it on the news or something. That's how you could still do something new with an old motive, is have someone just run that motive back. I mean, history repeats itself, man. I mean, I feel like that's even somewhat of a recurring theme even in this franchise. I would love to see something like that. Ooh, Austin Daniels, you're spitting some fire right there, my friend. Love it. I got to catch up in the chat because I'm so far behind. But Wes Carpenter Flicks, thank you for being a channel member. I really appreciate that. We're watching The Conjuring this Friday, so we shall see. I am seeing like one of the very first screenings of it this Thursday. So if there is any sort of trailer, whatever, Your boy will be covering it, I promise. Wes Carpenter, though, thank you again for being a channel member. We greatly appreciate that. Excuse me for the little... I thought that was going to be audible, and I heard it through my fucking headset. I'm sorry. It's been a day. I need the energy drink, or I'm just going to... like that on stream. It'll be awful. Binge with Nick is saying, okay, dude, I swear part of the trailer is out there now. Maybe it is, but hey, we're not freaking talking about it until it's officially released, damn it. The veins you can't see it because of the hat, but the veins in my forehead are about to burst. I'm just kidding. I'm bummed. I always get bummed when things leak because it's like, especially with Scream, like we don't want to know this shit before it comes out. Come on now. It makes me all stinky. Makes me all stinky and sad. Aim Punched is saying it's so sexy in here. You're damn right. The way I burp and talk about how stinky I am. Oh, God. Deadshot is saying, sup, dude. What's up, Deadshot? How are you? Did you guys see my Scream video today? How are we feeling about peanut butter and salami, by the way? This is a really important question. I really need to know. I really need to know what everyone thinks about that. Picky Piggy is saying, did you stream yesterday on your gaming channel? No, but we will be streaming there tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Stop on by. I think we're playing some Repo, but we might try some weird new games too. Who knows? Richard Skarenki is saying, by the way, 28 years later is now on vid. Oh, it's like to rent video. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, gotcha. Sweet. Is it on streaming yet? I really want to rewatch that one. Like, I'm kind of dying. I'm dying to rewatch 28 Years Later, man. Probably one of my favorite movies from this year. Getting so many comments on that new short about how that movie sucked, and I'm just like, that's crazy. Crazy talk, man. I loved that movie. That's one of the best franchise continuations of the 2020s, man. That just fucking bangs. It's like Fellowship of the Ring with zombies. No complaints. 10 out of 10, baby. JS1 is saying we need the nostalgia from the first one. See, I feel like there's a cool way to do nostalgia, and there's like a really cheap and condescending way to do nostalgia, and that's why I'm like very, very, very picky about it. You think that Picky Piggy's picky? Oh no, I'm picky when it comes to nostalgia. See, I hate when people are just like, hey, here's this character you like, poof, throw them into the story. Like, it's like, that's so, I don't care. Okay, yeah, I like that character, but I like them part of this other story. Now, they don't have to be a part of this story. That bums me out. That's like, you're just doing that for a cash grab. You're telling me, hey, these characters are all back in this movie, and come on in, everybody. This is good, just as good as the first thing for that reason. Even though you have the same ingredients, it doesn't mean you're cooking the same goddamn recipe. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain things you gotta do that original movie did, and that's why it's so great. These newer movies, I feel like, aren't figuring out the recipe. They have the same ingredients, but they don't have the same result. And the big reason for that is I feel like they're relying on that. They're just resting on that nostalgia crutch big time. And that's my problem with how a lot of these requels are being handled. So for me, what I really want from Scream 7 is just do things in a similar way to that original film. I don't even care. Like, cool, you have some of the characters from the original one. Sweet. I don't even think that's the biggest deal, though. What I need is you to do things in a similar way to 96. That is the kind of nostalgia I'm looking for in movies like this that could really make them work and make them still feel fresh, but also kind of call back to a different time period, which would be fun. So do nostalgia right or don't do it at all. Man, the Lethal Collective chat is blowing the frick up right now. Jordan Talks Films, love your Ghostface profile picture, my friend. How are you? How are you? The trailer detail. Thanks for the 5, by the way. I didn't even thank you before just getting right into it. I'm just so excited. I'm foaming at the mouth. I'm so excited for this to talk about the super chat. The trailer details sound sick. Ghostface FaceTiming Sid. I think it's AI. Is that trailer? Is this a spoiler? You're killing me. I'm off work this whole week, so if you stream again and need guests, let me know. I will let you know. I will absolutely let you know. I have read some of those. I don't want to get too far into that stuff. If the trailer does drop this week, we will be talking about it in a big old nasty video. But I don't want to talk about it until it comes out. And maybe that's really frustrating to you, but for all I know, these are spoilers from the actual film, not the trailer themselves. So I don't want to, I just unfortunately do not want to talk about it. But I'm excited to see this trailer when it does eventually drop. And of course, I will be covering the fuck out of it. Really excited to see some first footage from this movie. I want to know what this flick is all about because frankly, I'm not 100% convinced yet. I think once we see some footage, then I'm going to start to have an idea of what this movie is all about, the personality it's bringing, the way things were executed. Because you can have good ideas all day, but if you don't execute them right, then I don't know. You know, it's kind of one of those things. But I'm really hoping this movie bangs, man. We already knew about the AI thing, though, Jordan, so that's cool. But, dude, thank you for the 5, man. I really do appreciate your support. We got to talk Scream sometime for sure. Thank you for the 5. Mastermind Killer is saying, so upset that leaks are so massive at this point for Scream 7. Tried so hard to keep everything under wraps. Now the beginning, secret cameo, and several scenes are ruined. I feel your pain, my friend. Doing research for these videos, you come across things, and I've seen it all. It's a bummer. But what I will say is I'm still, most of the stuff that I know has me more excited for the flick, which, like I've said in many videos now, I wasn't convinced that everything with Scream 7 was going to go perfectly, in a brand new good way. I don't know. I was worried. I'm down for the throwback feel. I really am. But like, there's a way to do it. There's a way to fuck it up real easy and just make it feel real milk toast. And I don't want that. I don't like milk or toast. That's a joke. That's a little joke for our friends who like our wordsmiths out there. That's a little joke for our wordsmiths out there. But there's two big things that I have me really excited for the film in terms of the spoilers. Two big things for sure. Flamingo Productions is saying, honestly, the only thing I hated was the Jimmy Savile part in 28 Years Later. Just feels really disrespectful to the people who have suffered from him. Well, Flamingo Productions, I hear you on that. I want to see what they do with it. I want to see where the commentary runs. It's clearly a teaser for the next film, how that movie ended. And I'm staying open to how they use that as commentary, because I think in terms of satire, in terms of using things from movies to comment on things in real life, I think you have to do it in a certain way that is, maybe we have to go to some dark places sometimes to comment on these things. But I want to see how they use it for commentary purposes in the next movie. So I know it can be seen right now as disrespectful, but I feel like that was just kind of a tease at what the next movie is going to be all about. That's all we know so far about the Bone Temple. We're going to see the trailer tomorrow for it, though, and I will be covering it on the page. So that tomorrow's video will be all about 28 years later. So if you're someone who's sick of the Scream videos, we're taking a little break from that tomorrow. David Primero, thank you for the $2, saying Sydney gets fed up and screams, "What are you waiting for?" No, I'm so done with I Know What You Did Last Summer after that new movie. Respect to people who liked it, but man, what a disaster. I'm sorry. I did not like that movie at all. It was a shame, man, because I was actually real hyped to see those characters back and to see the screamification essentially of I Know What You Did Last Summer. I'm like, yeah, that's the only way you could continue this franchise, is turning it murder, like full on murder mystery, full, like basically just a Scream film, but instead of Ghostface, the fisherman. I was so into that, and I don't know what happened with that movie. It felt worse than like a straight to streaming flick, and I'm like, I can't believe I'm watching this in theaters right now. Again, respect to people who were a fan of that one, but wow, I missed the mark for me entirely. I just was not crazy about it, man. I really wanted to like it too. I went in with not pretty high hopes, but like, I'm like, this could be like a solid new franchise to cover. I'm like really excited to see if this movie matches up to that, but it just copied Scream 5 beat for beat for beat, dude. I mean, everything it did, I'm like, this is literally just Scream 5, but worse. Like, why? Do your own thing. Like, don't copy Scream entirely. I get, putting the Scream structure and I Know What You Did Last Summer. Totally understandable. It's two different Kevin Williamson properties, makes sense, but man, I mean, they literally found the script for Scream 5 and they copy and pasted everything and just changed the names to their new characters and the I Know What You Did Last Summer cast. I'm like, this is embarrassing, man. I don't know. I just was not a fan of that movie. Probably one of my least favorite flicks I've seen all year, which is a bummer, man. Really wanted to like that one. David Primero, thank you for the 2. Really appreciate the support. Thank you. Also, we have Jordan Talks Films thrown 2 out there too, saying Mad 3C Films covered it, so I thought it was fine. No disrespect to Chris, no disrespect to any of my other fellow YouTubers. I feel it's a step too far to be covering that opening scene. Hey, listen, if it's all revealed in a trailer here in a couple of days, rock on, then it's fair game. It's something the marketing team wants us to see, but it's just like, dude, listen, I'm here to talk about rumors. I'm here to talk about some, word of mouth. Hey, this might be a thing in the new movie, but there's no way to confirm that. You know what I mean? There's some stuff out there that you can find right now that pretty much confirms this leak. And that's what bums me out, dude. That's what bums me out about all this, that everyone's covering it. And that's why I'm not going to cover it in detail. Maybe I lose views for that. Maybe I lose people because they're bummed I'm not talking about these spoilers, but that's just not the point of this page. I'm not here to spoil one of the biggest movies I cover. Sorry. Like, I don't know. I just think that's kind of crazy, especially with the opening scene, dude. Like, I don't want to know what happens there. I don't want to know who's involved in that. I don't know. That's wild to me, but it's a bummer. It really is a bummer. But Jordan, thank you for the 2. I really do appreciate it a ton. Thank you for the support. TRS is enjoying their daily dose of cheese and Jake. Pretty weird writing that. It's almost as good of a combination as, peanut butter and salami. I'm never going to shut up about it. It's good. Try it. Try before you deny, damn it. I'm so glad I finally got to put that in a video. If you've been watching the gaming channel, you know I've been talking about that a lot lately. Scream 666 is saying the more I'm hearing about Scream 7, the more it's sounding like what Scream 5 should have been. So like you like that it's kind of a Sydney story again, kind of focusing on Sydney's family essentially. I mean, I'm here for it. I really liked Scream 5 though. I thought it was a really nice not parody, but it was a really nice take on requels. I think it had a lot to say about that, which was fun. It had its problems, I'm not gonna lie. It definitely had things where I was like, huh, what? We're not killing somebody in the opening scene. Okay, I don't know about that. I mean, I guess anything for a surprise, anything for a shock, I understand that, but I kind of wish we had an opening kill. That was probably one of my biggest problems with that entire film. I like the killer's motive, though. I think one of them was pretty obvious and easy to spot, but like I really like the motive of we're trying to give Hollywood ideas because we hate what they're doing with the new installment. Like that's so Scream. I love that. That's like one of the most screamy motives that you can come up with. That's probably one of my favorite from the bunch. It beats the Scream 6 motive. I'll say that at least. I definitely enjoyed that. But it had its issues. I don't think they really figured out what they wanted to do with Sam Carpenter. They didn't really have that down on paper until I feel the 6th entry. So that was kind of something, the more I go back to that one, then I'm just like, yeah, the writing here is kind of weird. But 5 overall, I still like it. It definitely is a little lower down the rung the more I've come back to it. Scream 6 still very high up there for me personally, though. I really enjoyed that one. All things considered. Mastermind Killer, thank you for the $2 saying Horror Hound weekend in Cincy. Dude, I can't even pay my rent right now, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. But I would love to go. Horror Hound's like one of my favorite conventions to go to. In Cincinnati, they do like a local brewery actually like puts out these like horror themed beers that they sell at the convention. It's fucking awesome. It always has a great lineup for people who are going to be there. It's just great. It's all, 10 out of 10 horror convention. If you can make it out, do it. But I can't, man. I'm so sorry. Moving into this apartment has just completely wiped out my savings. And I'm trying to recover. Still trying to recover from all that. So unfortunately, I don't think I'm going to be doing any big events anytime soon, but hopefully sometime next year I can start getting out to big events and all that again. You don't even know how bummed I am that I can't make it to HHN this year, dude. I can't believe I'm missing the Terrifier house. Like I'm broken. Like my heart is shattered into pieces that I've been watching the coverage of it. I won't even make a video on it because I'm so bummed. I'm the FOMO, man. Fear of missing out. It's not even a fear. It's just, I'm missing out. It's just Mo. I'm just Mo over here, man. So I hope you have a ton of fun. Have fun for me. Have a glass of that Killer Clown beer for me. Do a toast to KillJoy Jake. That would make me so happy. Mastermind Killer, thank you for the $2. Jordan Talks Films throwing 2 out there saying, yeah, he was talking about the trailers, no spoilers. And hey, maybe Chris was just talking about this trailer that's coming out. Maybe that's it. Maybe there is a trailer coming out. I have no way to confirm that though. I can't find anything on if that's actually happening or not. I'm hearing 2 different things. I'm hearing it might come out. I'm hearing that it might come out in November. So I don't know. Not 100%, but hey, if he's just talking about what's in the trailer, nothing wrong with that. But we'll see this weekend. We'll see. It's either coming out this weekend or we're gonna wait to see it until November. But we'll see what's up. Jordan, thank you for the 2. Mastermind Killer, thank you for the 2. You guys fucking rock. Who else is with us? We got Taco Man. What is that? Hang on. What is that profile picture? I don't know, but you got like some kind of buff dude in your profile. I love it. Taco Man saying, I heard we're getting a new scary movie. Oh, we are. A few months after 7 drops next year in February, we are getting, actually the release date moved, didn't it? It's summer now of 2026, Scary Movie 6. And I'm real hyped for it, man. Rumor has it that Melissa Barrera is part of the cast, maybe having a little cameo in there. I think that's fucking hilarious. I think it's honestly a little weird that people are like bummed that she's in that movie. Spyglass did her very dirty. She's not coming back for Scream as long as Spyglass owns the rights, and that's not changing anytime soon. So I think it's a great pivot. I think it's a really, not only a smart business decision, but I think it's going to be a very fun watch now for Scream fans especially. Who hopefully don't take things too seriously, knowing that it's all just one big joke. The thing about Scary Movie is that without it, I don't think Ghostface would be as big of a slasher villain as how we know him nowadays. The Scream movies were crazy popular, yes, but so were Scary Movie movies, dude. That original Scary Movie, the What's Up, I would argue more people know Ghostface from that than they do any of the Scream films, which is something that nobody wants to fucking hear, but it's the truth. I remember when I worked at Chipotle, which is where I got this silly hat from. I would ask people, like they would ask me, they're like, "What? Oh, so you're like a YouTuber? What are you talking about?" And I'm like, horror movies, but mostly like Ghostface. And they're like, "Oh, cool, the What's Up guy," and that's how they knew him. They hadn't even seen the Scream movies. They had seen Scary Movie. And I thought that was so interesting. I'm like, wow, they don't even know Scream. They just know that original Scary Movie. So to me, I feel like without Scary Movie, this guy back here would not be as popular as he is. Scream is obviously the impetus. That's where it comes from initially, but Scary Movie, it's for a different crowd. You know what I mean? It's a different, even if you don't like horror movies, you might have seen Scary Movie. So to me, it's like, that's why Ghostface is like the most recognizable slasher villain. He's from 2 different franchises. That's a very big point to make, I feel. So Scary Movie, I think a lot of people look at it and they're just like, oh man, it's shitting on the legacy of Scream. Not at all, dude. Not at all. It's perpetuating it. It is pushing it forward for an audience that might not like horror movies as much. I personally don't find Scream scary. I just enjoy it for the goofy, campy, meta horror series that it is. I think it's fun. It's fun more than scary, in my humble opinion. But I think ultimately, some people do find it scary, and for those who do and don't want to watch Scream, they probably have seen Scary Movie. So I think that, yeah, Ghostface, like I think Ghostface is honestly at the point where he's a bigger slasher villain than anybody you got on the set right now. Art the Clown's the new kid on the block. Michael Myers is the OG, but Ghostface is that sweet, like Goldilocks center right in the middle, baby, that everyone recognizes. We had my nieces and nephews over here the other day. Not my nephews. I'm so sorry. I'm sleep deprived as fuck right now. We had my fiance's sister's kids over the other day, and they walked in the room. You know the one thing they pointed at? Ghostface popcorn bucket. They're like, Ghostface, no way. I'm just like, yep, most recognizable. I knew it. Anyways, Mastermind Killer's throwing $2 out there saying, I will buy both the enough tickets. You gotta go. If you buy me tickets, I will cry. I would love to go to Cincinnati in a few weekends, man. I wouldn't ask you to do that, but if you did, that would be dope as fuck. I appreciate the super chat, my friend. Thank you for the 2. If you want, message me after this. We'll see. We'll see what's up. John Docks, holy cow, I haven't had a day off and caught you live in months. Out of all the great 2025 horrors, I think 28 years is the best so far. Hot take? Not a hot take at all, my friend. That's a top 3 without a doubt for me. I think I liked Weapons just a little more than 28 years, but goddamn, 28 years. I was in tears. I was cracking up at certain points. I was terrified by those first 40 minutes. Holy shit. I mean, that movie all over the place. So many things good about it that I just loved. 28 years later, borderline masterpiece in my opinion. Great stuff there, John Dox. Danny Boy is saying, hey, Jake, in your opinion, how much meta is too much? You know, here's maybe a hot take. I love Scream 4. It's my favorite sequel. It is like #1 sequel. I don't see anything even touching it. Like I'm actually at the point where I think Scream 1, Scream 4, that's never going to change. That's 1 and 2 from the franchise. Both of those are fantastic, but Scream 4 is always going to be #2 because it's just too damn meta sometimes. It's like, dude, relax. All of the problems I have with Scream 4 all come down to that. The meta jokes, when they don't land, it hurts. It hurts a little bit. You're just like, man, this is a little cringe sometimes. That's my only big complaint about Scream 4. The rest of it totally rocks. But sometimes there's like a few lines here and there where it's just like, you're just trying too hard to be meta. The opening scene, for instance, trying just a little too hard to be meta. Even though it is, I think, arguably kind of brilliant because it catches you up on all the different eras of horror that Scream missed out on. So I have mixed feelings on the opening scene for 4 altogether, but 4 is a little too meta to the point where it's almost a little cringe, but I still love it. I think it's still my favorite sequel without a doubt. It's my #2 of the franchise forever. But I don't think 5 and 6 are too meta. I really don't think 5 and 6 are too meta at all. I actually kind of wish that 6 especially was more meta. Like, I feel like the only thing that 6 really hits on commentary wise is like, hey, the Scream franchise has gone on for a while, hasn't it? And it's like, okay. Yeah, I guess 6 doesn't get into like any horror commentary at all. Like, it's really just about the Scream franchise and the franchise alone. 5 was cool because it's like, ooh, this was fun, little requel commentary. You know, that we're talking about the modern age of horror and all that fun stuff. 6 didn't even do anything. I feel like there was no meta in 6, which kind of bummed me out a little bit. I was hoping for something, maybe some of the excess meta from 4 we could like kind of drip into 6 a little bit. That's kind of how I feel about it. 4 is the most meta Scream film in my opinion. Like, it's so much meta. It's like you could have backed off on that a little bit. Only criticism of that film, honestly. But I don't know. I don't feel that 6 is really that meta in my humble opinion. Austin is saying, I feel like November for the first trailer is too close to release. No, that's when the first trailers for Screams 5 and 6 dropped was 3 months before. So that would be a little over 3 months actually if it was November 14th. Everyone's been saying that. Everyone's like, November would be way too close to drop a trailer, but it's like, that's exactly what they did with Screams 5 and Scream 6. I don't know. I think that's odd, but I actually, it's odd that we're getting the trailer now more so. Like, if that actually does happen, it would be kind of like almost scratching your head a little bit. You know, it's like, wow, we're getting the trailer now. Okay. That's why I talked about it in my video today. I said they're basically doubling the marketing campaign. If the trailer comes out, this weekend, that's like basically 6 months. That's a little like a week less than 6 months, basically, if they drop it this weekend. So I'm here for it. I'm like, hey, rock on. But at the same time, I think it's with the motivation of Spyglass and Paramount wants to flip the script. You know, they're sick of hearing fans talk about how, you know, this movie sucks and all that. They're like, I'm not seeing Scream 7. People are going to see Scream 7. Don't worry about the box office, folks. If you're worried about that, trust me, you don't. There's too much star power in this movie for it to fail. I would bet money that it makes more money than Scream 6. I would, honest to God, I'm pretty confident on the fact that it's going to make more than 6, which was right below, just shy of 170 million. So I could see this one pulling 180 if I'm being real. That's my very early prediction on 7. I don't know why my thing is fighting me here. Rebel with the cause. There we go. We got your super chat on screen. I keep scrolling up and down and it won't let me get to it. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, you're saying secret cameo, possibly Tatum or Randy. Thoughts? If we do flashbacks, I guess we could do like a Tatum or Randy thing. See, the problem is that these two actors, I guess Jamie has worked on, you know, he had lended his voice to Scream 5. But there's things, other forces that I don't know if I want to get into here on a live stream that might keep them away from the franchise overall. That's all I'm going to say. There's certain things about both of those actors, but I wouldn't be against it. I think it could be cool. It could be cool to see them potentially in this movie, but who I think it honestly is, it could be something along like Roman's back in this movie. Why? It's just such a big question. Well, my thoughts, my answer to that, why are we bringing Roman into this, into a Kevin Williamson directed Scream film? I think Kevin wants to rewrite parts of Scream 3 in a weird sort of way. I think that's even maybe part of the reason why we could be doing a flashback in the first place. That's a rumor, but I have, there's reason to believe that that's probably what's happening. How are they going to bring back Dewey, Roman, and Stu? You know what I mean? If it was just Matthew Lillard part of the cast, we could be talking about the Stu is alive theories all day, but you're telling me we're going to bring back to life Roman and Dewey too. Like, I mean, that's just rewriting history is what that is. That's just saying the other movies basically didn't happen at that point. I feel like even the Stu truthers can get on board with that, right? I mean, come on now. Stu arguably could be alive. I guess there's an argument, but Roman and Dewey, like, man, I don't know. That's wild. That's just rewriting history at that point. That would mean Scream 7 is some sort of Halloween 2018 style deviation from the timeline. That's the only way you could do something like that. But secret cameo, who could it be? Roman's coming back for this one. Kevin Williamson has said multiple times that he's not crazy about that film. He likes it, but overall, there's things about it he wasn't crazy with. I think what could be happening here is that he's saying that Angelina Tyler was actually the secret second killer the whole time. He loves a good shock. He loves a good surprise. And his original script for Scream 3 saw an entire Stab fan club being Ghostface, all pretending to be dead, rising at the same time to then reveal themselves to Sydney. I fucking love that. That's cool. And you can kind of see some of those ideas broken up in a different form in Scream 4, which would be the next movie that he writes for the series. I think that in a way he's going to try to rewrite 3 a little bit and have Angelina Tyler potentially be revealed as this secondary Ghostface that maybe Roman just stabbed a little bit before she got revealed. And wouldn't that be cool? Like, we would go back and watch Scream 3 and then you're just like, oh shit, like she's the killer the whole time. And there's so many clues of that the whole time, man. I mean, she is suspicious from the get-go. That whole scene with her in the bathroom with the mask talking to Sydney, that's fucking creepy. She's a ghost face. I think it's her. I feel like it's Kevin Williamson being like, I'm putting something in that damn movie. I'm being a part of that damn movie right now. I couldn't do it back then. I'm doing it now. I think that would be really fun. That's my theory on the secret cameo, because why else is Roman coming back? Big question marks there. Gina, thank you so much for throwing 2 out there. Really appreciate your support. You're saying just 1 more needed. Holy shit. And ladies and gentlemen, Michael threw out the 10. Love you guys so much. We're talking Scream for another hour. Really appreciate the support. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let's get into this then. Gaz is saying, sorry to be that guy, but I don't rate any of the Screams. If I had to rewatch one, it would be 4, but I never do. You don't rate any of the, like, what do you mean you don't rate the Screams? Like, you don't like... You don't rate. You got to have a favorite, though. I mean, everyone's got to have an opinion. You know that scene in Pulp Fiction? Everyone's got to have an opinion. Come on now. Let us know. What's your favorite Scream then? At least give me that. At least give me that one. Who else is with us? We got Lily saying, I think Ratatouille is going to be a ghost face in Scream 7. Could you imagine taking off the mask and it's like, oh my God, it was you. And then they take it off fully and there's a fucking rat controlling them. It's like, it was the rat the whole time. Now that would be a twist. Patton Jester is saying, so I wonder when the trailer is for Scream 7. Maybe this weekend. We'll just have to see. It would be fun. It would be fun to see a new trailer. I would love to see it early, man. I mean, honestly, it would be exciting. If they do a 6-month marketing campaign, that could be really good for the film too. I feel like that could really put some butts in seats. And like I said, I'm predicting we get 180 mil on this one. Like, I genuinely think it could get up that high. There's too much star power in this movie for people not to show up. I feel like even if it has bad reviews, even if this movie sucks, it's gonna make $180 million. I really feel confident in that. King Matthew was saying it's kind of odd that Courtney Cox hasn't talked about Scream 7 as much as Nev has. Maybe Gil could be dying in Scream 7. Maybe they're silencing her, putting a muzzle on Courtney Cox, trying to say don't spoil it. Don't be like Dermot Mulroney. Don't be talking about what happens to your daughter in the flick before it comes out. Maybe. I mean, maybe that's the case. She has been pretty quiet. Haven't heard a whole lot from Courtney Cox. I wonder if she's got other projects going on. Might have to look into that. Beer Belly Angler is saying, hey, Jake, I'm at home resting, possibly rotator cuff tear. Ooh, that sucks, man. I've heard a bunch of people who had to get that surgery, and I guess it's not very fun. Wishing the best health for you, though, my friend. Sucks because fishing may be over early for me this season, but hey, at least I still got beer and movies. Hope all is well. I'm so sorry, my friend. Yeah, at least you see, one of your three interests may be gone, but you still have the beer and the movies, and that's what matters, my friend. So look on the bright side, that 2/3 of the interests are still there. So much love to you, my friend. Wishing you nothing but good health. I'm so sorry about that. Smells like teen horror. What's up, Eric? How's it going? I think since the trailer's been spoiled, the right thing would be to get ahead of it and just release the trailer ASAP. Can't argue with that either. I think now that people are talking about it, you might as well just throw it out there. Another very good point, honestly. Kyle Brandon is saying, Jake, I think Scream 7 will be heavily on AI commentary. I could get into that. Something that is currently threatening the industry. I lost the comment because my stupid Streamlabs is literally telling me, catch up in the damn chat, you idiot. There we go. We got back to it, though. I truly want to see a Mindy phone call and she meets her demise talking to an AI Randy through a video call. Yo, that could be wild. Her fucking, technically her uncle, right? Ooh, that's fucked up, man. They got to do it the right way. I think I've heard people say there's video calls between Ghostface and Sydney. I don't think that's going to work visually. I'm just going to be so real. The voice thing that could feel like an update on Scream 3. The voice changer back then didn't make a whole lot of sense. Now it's like real tech, and it's something that is really threatening the industry. It makes sense more than ever to use AI voice stuff as kind of like a commentary angle. Say that, the villain is using it. You know what I mean? There's so much to be said just about that alone. It's something that is very much so threatening the film industry or just artists in general. Can you believe we have technology that can basically do anything and we're making it make art? That's ridiculous. There's so many shitty jobs that people don't want to fucking do. Train the AI to do that, not make art. That's the whole point of all of this, so that we can make our goofy little things, make our goofy little Scream videos. You know what I mean? And now people are like, nope, your life is just going to be work with AI now. It's like, that sounds awful. All these fucking ads where it's like, AI is going to make your life easier. Go fuck yourself, dude. No, and fuck AI. Fuck that shit. Have the villains use it in this movie. I'm here for that kind of commentary. I can do nothing but applaud that. Little golf clap there. So no to AI. Only villains use that shit. So rock and roll with that angle to this new movie. Gaz has given us an update saying Scream 4 is their favorite. Okay, see, you got to have a favorite, baby. I love it. Now let's really put some pressure down on Gaz here. What's your least favorite Scream? Let the class know. It's always controversial when you say what your least favorite is, because everyone's like, all the Scream movies are good. They are. I think they are. I like all 6 of them personally, but you got to have a least favorite too. There's one that you watch the least. Let's talk about it. Come on now. Throw it out there, Gaz. I'm curious. Thank you. I'm really pressing this guy. I feel kind of bad now. No, Gaz, thank you for the 5. I'm glad that you love Scream as much as I do. Very good stuff there, my friend. Thank you for the super chat. Michael throwing 5 out there saying, seems too early for a trailer. Halloween would be a great time for heavy marketing. Scream 4, while I love it, I really don't like the haze on the lens. Again, maybe a step too far with the meta. So that's kind of how some people feel about it. But that's supposed to mimic the way that a lot of those thousands horror remakes kind of looked. And I like it because of what it represents. But yeah, it's kind of makes for Scream 4 being one of the ugliest Scream films, unfortunately. But I think, with the commentary, most of the meta stuff works for me. Most of it is kind of like, okay, this is kind of funny. You know what I mean? I'm seeing what you're doing here. I'm seeing the subtle jokes and jabs at the 2000s horror remakes and all that fun stuff. I feel especially that it's ripping on the 2010 movie, the 2010 Nightmare on Elm Street movie is how I especially feel about it. Because, man, I mean, I wasn't Wes Craven not even involved with that or something? They didn't even want to hear his ideas on a new take on Nightmare or whatever. I remember there was some kind of discourse between Craven and that remake. So it just feels like such a rebellious film, and I think that's when Scream's at its best, is when it's trying to be rebellious, when it's trying to kind of do its own thing, opposed to what the rest of horror is. It's the overachiever slasher franchise, and I think that's why so many people love it, because it's able to do things that not a lot of other franchises can. Joe Bamba is saying the worst part about losing Melissa Barrera. I'm like, MB, Men in Black? I'm like, huh? Is that it? It made Jenna Ortega leave. Spyglass lost one of the biggest female stars of the next 30 years. Yeah, I mean, she's shot herself up to the A-list, that's for sure. I like both of them. I think they work really well together in those movies, and it sucks that we lost them right when I feel like they got the relationship down in Scream 6. I feel like it wasn't totally not. There were still some bugs in Scream 5, but then in Scream 6 they kind of were ironed out the wrinkles essentially of that relationship and got it figured out. So I'm actually kind of bummed we're not getting a third Core 4 movie. I would have liked like one more, and then we could have done like a return to form. That would have been fun. Kind of been like Halloween 4, 5, and 6, and then we're back to Jamie Lee Curtis. You know, we're kind of just skipping to H2O right now, is how I feel about it. Nothing wrong with that. I'm here for some more Sydney stories too, but I guess I would have liked one more Core 4 entry, and something that's not like Curse of Michael Myers where it doesn't make any sense. That would be nice. That would be a good thing. Ready Horror Movie? Is that what your full name is? Yeah, Ready Horror Movies. Thanks for the $2, man. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the support. Thank you. Little ghost face icon there. We're loving it. Mastermind is saying, bought 2 tickets for you to Cincy Horror Hound Friday to Saturday. Are you serious, dude? You got to be fucking with me right now. No way, dude. Hit me up. Hit me up with the message. If you're for real right now, we're coming down. We're making it happen. Oh my God. Thank you so much, man. Madison's going to lose her mind. She's going to be like, what? I've been hyping up Horror Hound to her. I'm like, that's the best. We went to, what was it? The Kentucky one. I can't even remember the name of it. That's how it's awesome though. I got to speak there last October, ton of fun. But I was just like, I love this one. This is great. The drive's a little long since he's a little closer, and they got that specialty beer, baby. It's awesome. So I cannot believe that you're totally serious is what you're saying. You are too kind. We're going. We're making it happen, Mastermind Kill. You are getting so many shout outs if I do videos down there. Thank you so much, man. Holy shit. You're too kind. You're far too kind. That's crazy. Thank you for the 5. Thank you for the support. I don't even know what to say. I thought I wasn't going to be able to do any fun spooky stuff this year because we've just been so broke moving into this place. You might notice there's a fun little blanket over to the side here. You want to know what's under that blanket? Boxes. Because I haven't had time to unpack everything. We've been in here for a month. So that's why you got a fun little blanket off to the side here. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Anyways, I do appreciate that a ton though, Mastermind Killer. That really does mean a lot. We'll have to hang out. Come on down to Cincy in a couple weekends here. We're all hanging out, drinking some Killer Clowns beer. It's going to be fun. But dude, thank you for the 5. Hit me up with some messages. We'll talk. We'll make some shit happen. Ann Cook is with us saying, hey, KillJoy Jake, did you hear It Welcomed the Dairy is coming out on October 26th? Yes, I'm so excited for that, Ann. It's going to be fun. Oh, I need some more Pennywise in my life. I haven't had the chance to cover like an It series with Bill Skarsgård in it on this page yet, and I'm so hyped. It 2019 came out, if I'm not mistaken, like a few months before I started this channel, so I never got around to covering any It stuff, and I'm like bummed about it, because I'm like, that was huge. That was like one of the biggest, highest grossing horror flicks of the last like 10 years or so. And it's good. I mean, I really like those movies personally. I'm a weirdo who even kind of likes It Chapter 2, man. So I'm actually really excited that I'm going to be able to cover that one. Real hyped. I mean, that's such a big staple in horror these days, man. So good stuff. Michael throwing another 5 out there saying, we've spoken about how I love spoilers. I haven't seen the spoilers for the opening. I want to hear you say it. Just me and you. Say it. Say it, Michael. Say it. I feel like I'm Michael Myers in the opening of Halloween 2018. And just like Michael, I'm going to stay silent. I'm so sorry. I don't want to say spoilers. What I'll say though, Michael, is that it's all stuff that has me hyped. I have yet to hear a spoiler for this film that has not gotten me more excited for it. I'll tell you that much. There's something that I also know about the third act that I think is pretty fucking cool. And I won't say what it is. I won't even give you a hint as to what it is. But what does have me hyped about all this is my underlying big thing that I want with every Scream movie. I want them to try something new. Don't give me the same story over and over and over again. That is just, that's boring. That's how you go to franchise hell with any series, when you're just doing the same thing over and over and over again. Here, look at Friday the 13th. This is a series that, for the most part, does the same thing with each entry as you go through 1 through 8. But what makes some of those later sequels interesting? The weird, different thing that they do with it. Tina has fucking carry powers, telekinesis, and all that in part 7. It makes that movie watchable. Part 8 goes to Manhattan for like the last 10 minutes or so. The rest of that movie, boring as fuck on a boat, but they go to Manhattan at one point, which is just Vancouver. But it's different. It makes that movie worth the watch for that reason. Part 6 has a little bit of meta commentary in it and some slapstick humor to it. So point being, Friday the 13th, while most of those movies kind of just do the same thing over and over and over again, I love how they're able to incorporate something different. There is something in there that is a change, you know what I mean? And that's the intrigue. That's where it's like, oh, I got to see that. What do you mean Jason's going up against basically fucking Carrie? Like, okay, I'm sold. I need to see that. Even part 9, which is universally considered the worst Friday the 13th. They have fucking, they explain that, what is it? Jason's a fucking deadite or whatever. And the Freddy glove comes in and drags his mask to hell and all that crazy shit. So ton of horror references, even if the rest of the movie you're not crazy about. So that's my thing. I need where's my Tina? You know what I mean? Where's my Tina in Scream 7? I need to see it. And I'm not talking about Halloween 5 because that's a whole different Tina. And anyways, JD's, but Michael, thank you for the 5. And you're throwing another 2 out there and you're saying you tease. Oh, I'm a big old tease. Let me tell you. Michael, again, what I'll say without spoiling anything is it's all good stuff. Everything I've heard is like, this is the coolest fucking shit ever. This is going to be another great opening scene to add to the list. You can just tell from the things we've heard about it. And hey, you might see it in a couple of days. So I'm so sorry. I don't want to spoil it for everybody, but in a couple of days, you might see what everyone's been talking about anyways. Thank you for the support though, my friend. And goddamn, I can't wait to see this on the big screen. Oh, it's going to be fun. JDC throwing $2 out there as well, saying Randy Meeks AI return too. Hope you're good, brother. I'm fantastic. Thank you for hanging out with us. Maybe so. The thing that I've been hearing about like the AI deepfake stuff with this movie is that Ghostface is going to use it to essentially taunt Sydney, and they're using it as sort of a way to comment on the space of movies right now. One of the biggest threats to the industry again is AI and deepfake technology. This idea that anyone can essentially just make a movie from their computer, and that's a scary thing with the industry right now. You know, basically taking away jobs from thousands of people who work in this industry every single day and bust their asses on what is real art. So the villains using this to terrorize our main characters, I think that just has so much to say about the state of film. I think that's just so interesting to me. Could they use Randy Meeks' likeness, you know, to essentially terrorize maybe Chad and Mindy? That could be interesting. I mean, that could be cool. I just don't know if the deep fake stuff is going to work. You know what I mean? I feel like the phone call, like maybe utilizing the voice, but like seeing like a shitty version of Randy or Stu or something, I don't know if that's going to work for me. I think that might kind of come off as goofy. Like, why would you answer a FaceTime call from Ghostface? I mean, I guess you could make the same argument as why would you answer a call, but like a FaceTime though, you know, why is Ghostface FaceTiming people? I don't know. That might be a little silly for me. But I feel like the phone, like the AI voice thing could work. Especially if they do a scene like how we saw in Scream 5, for instance, where it's Amber walking down the hallway, turning on the Ghostface voice there, and talking in person to somebody. Could you imagine a scene like that, but like we're twisting the knobs and we're all the different voices from the past? I mean, that could actually be kind of a cool sequence. All these different voices, like, you know, Maureen Prescott, for instance, talking to Sydney, like that could be really fucked up. Dewey's voice. Who else? I don't know. Maybe like some of her fucking, I'm trying to, just other dead friends and boyfriends, all that shit. That could be such a horrifying, traumatizing way of terrorizing Sydney. I don't know. That could be fun. I'm into something like that, but that, I feel like that's the only way it can work. If they do the deep fake stuff, that might come off as a little silly to me, but again, we'll see. We'll see how it's handled. All things in execution. But JDC, I really do appreciate the $2. Thank you for your support, my friend. Riley Rage is saying, question, thoughts on no Marine in 7? Kind of a bummer. Yeah, we're hearing that Lynn McCree was not asked to return for Scream 7, which is sad, which is a bummer. It makes you wonder what the hell they're doing with the rest of these characters, though. Why is Roman coming back? Why is Stu coming back? Why is Dewey coming back? I don't know. Now it really has me just like, huh? What the hell's going on here? I don't know. But, if they bring him back for some kind of flashback, we're showing what happened previously. The next thing that comes to mind is we're doing something with Scream 3. Something from those events is going to affect what's happening here in Scream 7. That's kind of my thoughts. Riley, that's kind of what's going through my head right now, is because, again, Kevin Williamson wasn't involved writing-wise with that one. I just feel like if I were him and I wanted to kind of throw my own 2 cents into an entry that kind of deviated from where you were going to take the franchise initially, me personally, I'd want to throw something in there. You know what I mean? I'd want to kind of spin it my own way and be like, this is what actually happened in Scream 3. If there's a way to do that, I think he's going to take that chance. It's ambitious, but I'm kind of into something like that. I'm into the original creator being able to tweak an entry that he didn't write. So I'm personally down for that. I think that could be really fun. So I'm kind of hoping that's how Roman is utilized, how Dewey is, like all these characters coming back. I kind of hope that's what's up. Stupid Fizz is saying, hi Jake, it's been a while since I've popped in one of these streams. Thanks for hanging out with us. I recently checked out the new I Know What You Did Last Summer, and it was an experience. Stupid Fizz, I'm so bummed about that movie. I wanted to like it so bad. I got to see it early even. I got to go to an early screener of it, and I just the whole time, head in my hands, what is going on? Listen, this is something that people have strongly argued with me about, but maybe it's just the theater that I was in, but there was actual lines of dialogue that made it to the final film that were incomprehensible. I couldn't understand them. I found myself leaning forward in my chair trying to understand what the characters were saying, but they were saying it so fast you couldn't even hear what they were what they were saying. And it was Madeline Klein's dialogue, half of her dialogue. For me, I couldn't even understand what she was saying, and I'm like, was this the first take? Was this the take number 1? Did they do no other takes for this film? It was preposterous. That's how I feel about the film. It feels unfinished. It feels rushed. It feels like there's no way they did multiple takes for some things. And I couldn't believe, I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe this was a feature film that made it to that made it to theaters around the globe. I really was just like, man, it's one thing if the story, I didn't like something about the story. That's one thing, whatever. Who cares? I'll shut up about it a week later. You know what I mean? But there was just actual incompetent moments from the movie that just made me go how the fuck did a feature film like this get made? That's crazy. I don't know. It just feels like such a mishandling of a classic that I'm really bummed about it. I think it had some cool ideas. I like what they ultimately did with the twist. Cool concept, but just not executed well at all. And it really bums me out, man. Really, I really wanted to like it too. Stupid Fizz, but I was really disappointed. Could have totally seen that being a whole new trilogy, a whole new thing, to kind of counter Scream, but I just feel like they whiffed it with that new entry. I don't know. Again, maybe it was just the theater that I was in that I couldn't understand the dialogue from one of the main characters the entire time. But I'm pretty convinced it was the performance, which again is just very shocking to me. But excuse me. But anyways, Leo Munoz is saying, good afternoon. I can't wait for the new Return of the Living Dead to come out. Yes, we have a Christmas themed Return of the Living Dead dropping at the end of the year. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so hyped for this. It's weird that they dropped the trailer for that one last December and now nobody's talking about it. You guys are talking about well, Jake, what's the harm in dropping a trailer early for the new Scream? Exactly this. Do any of you how many people, show of hands, how many people have seen the trailer for Return of the Living Dead 2025? I would bet that the majority of you have not seen it. And that's because they randomly decided to drop the trailer last December. Horrible idea. I'm sorry. The trailer looks awesome, but why did they drop the trailer a year before the movie came out? No one's talking about it. No one's been talking about it. I'm excited for it because I do this for a living. I talk horror movies. But why would they do? I don't know. They should have been dropping the trailer in a month from now. I'm excited for Return of the Living Dead. I really am, and it looks really good. But I would bet money the majority of people hanging out with us today have not seen the trailer for that at all. Maybe don't even know that there's a new Return of the Living Dead coming out, because I just don't feel like they're marketing that one properly, and it bums me out because it looks good. Christmas set Return of the Living Dead, that sounds like a surefire win. I know it's going to be, I could bet money that's going to be a good movie. Sounds like something really different for that series, going back to like what the first two films ultimately did. But man, don't know why they dropped that a year before it released. Because now I feel like all the hype and excitement for it is now just dead in the water. Just no one. Oh, that's coming out still? Forgot about that. You know what I mean? That's what I worry about with the Scream trailer coming out too early. Is that general audience members are not going to care as much. But yeah, so I don't know. Return of the Living Dead, definitely excited for it, but I hope they market that movie 3 months before it comes out, actually, and not just hope that one trailer from that last December is good enough. We'll see. We'll see what's up. I'm catching up in the chat because I am friggin' behind. Stevie's dialogue in the boat was horrible. She was talking too fast. Yeah, just weird. The direction of that movie, I don't feel was very good, and it bums me out because, again, you're continuing a classic here, man. It's like, come on now, we got to do some. We have to have some respect on some of these classic horror films. It's crazy. JDC is saying, Jake, in Scream 7, the stab movie, will we have another chrome-faced Ghostface? Maybe with a new tool or toy. That is a really interesting question. Are we doing stab again for Scream 7? Is that the direction we're going to take this? I don't know. I feel like we could kind of get away from that. I feel like we've said everything we could say about fictional stab. I do kind of like the idea of actually seeing one of those true crime limited series that is produced by Gale Weathers or some bullshit, you know? I could totally be down for something along those lines. Maybe they're actually shooting something, maybe like Gale with Chad and Mindy, her helpers or something, you know? They're actually shooting something during the whole new Ghostface massacre. That's what brings them to town. That could be interesting. That could be a really funny new angle. It's like they're actually shooting the documentary. It's not stab movies anymore lurking in the background for commentary purposes. It's like, no, we're actually going to shoot the whole massacre the whole time. We're going to film this thing and then we're going to post it as a true crime documentary. That could be a fun new angle to take the whole stab movie thing. I feel like that's a little more relevant to that's another place of commentary again for Scream, because what's another big thing that's been happening in the last few years or so? That Monsters series over on Netflix, pretty controversial. I remember I watched episode 1 of the Jeffrey Dahmer thing, and all I could think was they turned Jeffrey Dahmer into Patrick Bateman, and I don't know how I feel about that. It almost feels a little distasteful. Like, I don't like that I'm laughing at Jeffrey Dahmer. Like, this is a real thing that happened. American Psycho, fictional. You know what I mean? Maybe based on real people, but it's a fictional story. And I think that's what is the difference. That's why I can comfortably laugh at something like American Psycho, that's satire, where the Jeffrey Dahmer show, that's legit what happened. Like they're trying to show you what happened, and they're making it kind of silly. I don't like that. It's kind of the same argument about like people dressing up as real life serial killers, why that's distasteful. You know what I mean? I feel like we kind of hit on something similar to that here in Scream 7. That could be interesting. This franchise has always had a go at commentary in one way or the other. I feel like it would be, you can't really do throwback Scream without it. You know what I mean? I know there's going to be some people who are like, oh man, you can't have commentary in movies ruins them. That's why we're all sitting here talking about Scream right now, is because it decided to comment on the slasher genre. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, there's a lot of great things about Scream, but one of the most important things that makes it stand out is that meta horror commentary, baby. Ann Cook, thank you for the 5. I love your kitty profile picture. That's awesome. I'm a kind of a cat dad. I had to unfortunately leave my cats behind at my folks' place moving out recently, but I do love them quite a bit. No animals are allowed here at the apartment, unfortunately. I miss them dearly. But anyways, you're saying, will you do a summary and theory of every... Oh, Welcome to Derry episode. I will absolutely do like an initial review video. I wanted to do this with Alien Earth. That first video just bombed big time. I think it's only sitting at like 1,200 views right now, and I usually average somewhere between like 3 and 10K. So if I really would love to, I would love to do that. I would love to do some kind of review video on all of them, but I just, it does take me quite a while to make the videos on this page. I know some people just press record and talk about whatever the thing is, but I like to fully script stuff out and, you know, edit it and kind of lace little jokes in there. If you saw my video today, I love to do it. Like the peanut butter and salami joke was great. I was cracking up about it all morning. I feel like that's what sets my videos apart from others out there. So I would love to. I would love to do review videos on every single episode, but if no one's watching them, I put a lot of work into these things, you know, and I really want it to be something that people are actually going to watch every single week. So if that's the case, if that first review video just hits the fucking moon, let's rock and roll. We'll do it. I've been watching every episode of Alien Earth and I'm really digging it. I'm kind of back and forth on the show, how I feel right now. And I would love to kind of do some sort of dissertation, you know what I mean? But I don't know. It's weird. I think I'm going to start doing shorts though. On all the different episodes, like the one that comes out tonight, I might actually post like some sort of like short video, which only takes me like 30 minutes to an hour. That's something that I could probably make happen with Alien Earth as well as this show. Maybe one big like initial review video on whatever comes out first, and then doing reviews for subsequent episodes. And David's also asking, kind of a little jump off of this, I will be doing a full review video for The Conjuring. I don't know. I have not figured out the review thing in all my time of doing this. I cannot figure out how to get review videos. I can't figure out how to get people to watch my review videos. I figured out how to get people to watch the update videos. I cannot figure out how to get people to watch my reviews. And it's a bummer because I think some of my review videos, those are some of the best videos on this page. I think those are videos you can watch years from now, and they're still evergreen. There's still something that people could check out, but the algorithm disagrees with me. So I don't know. I would love to cover all those episodes though. And hopefully I can check out the reviews, check out the Conjuring review coming out this Friday. Please watch it. I'm going to put a lot of effort into this one and make it something good like I do with all my reviews. So I hope you guys dig it. But Ann Cook, thank you for the 5. I will be covering that show as closely as I possibly can. So let's hope. Let's make it happen. And Patton Jester is asking, what did you think of Jimmy and Stiggs? I put a review out for Patreon and channel members on that one. Really interesting flick to talk about. DIY horror. I think some of it works really well. Some of it I had some things to dissect. But overall, it was definitely a movie I recommend seeing from this year. It was a really interesting experiment of a flick, let me tell you. Jimmy and Stiggs, man, alien splatter flick. What an interesting new way to kind of spin the Evil Dead 2 formula. I enjoyed it. Thought it was interesting. It was weird. Riley Rage is saying, just watched I Know What You Did. So bad. It was way too long. What a mess. AI script, probably. Best part was the cameo dream sequence. Oh my God, man. That was something. Just anything to get Sarah Michelle Gellar in there, huh? That's to me right there. That's what I don't like about nostalgia is when you just anything to shove somebody in a script, like whatever the first idea is, that feels disrespectful to me. Like I love Sarah Michelle Gellar, great character, makes that original I Know What You Did Last Summer, in my humble opinion. That chase scene is the best part of the whole film. Oh my God. I mean, 10 out of 10, no notes. That's the best Kevin Williamson chase scene ever across the board. And I love me some Scream. Maybe this is sacrilege, but that chase scene with Helen Shivers in that movie is a 10 out of 10. It's shocking. You don't see it coming. You don't think that character is going to die like that. And oh my God, it does. Oh, insane. So to sneak Helen Shivers in here for kind of no reason whatsoever, it just feels cheap. It's just like, this is just anything to get a reaction out of the audience. You know what I mean? It doesn't really feel purposeful by any means, or just make it consequential. Make it even remotely consequential. And I got none of that from that movie. It just felt like a lot of different, it felt like a fan film. It felt like just things that fans would want to see about a movie and nothing else, you know, no real substance, which is a bummer. Patton is saying, man, I really hope your first review video of Welcome to Derry doesn't bomb like your Alien Earth video did, which sucks because I'm actually enjoying Alien Earth so far. Dude, there's so much to talk about regarding Alien Earth. It's a show that I could just go on and on and on and on about. It is so interesting. I really want to get into it more. I'm actually going to do some shorts regarding little short reviews because there's a lot to talk about with that show, man. It is so interesting. The good, the bad, the ugly. There's great things. There's some weird things that I don't know if they're working or not, and there's just like I can't wait to see where certain plot lines go. Like it is one of the most interesting like show adaptations of a very big horror franchise I think I've ever seen. It's a very big swing, and I'm intrigued. I'm so interested to see where it goes, man. Wow, Alien Earth. If you guys aren't watching that, I highly recommend it. So such an interesting take on an age-old franchise. Chris Schilber is saying, do you think we will get an Alien Earth season 2, or is it just a limited series? I really hope we do. I think this is a show that could go on for a long time, just based on how it's all set up. It feels like it's setting up a whole story leading into the rest of the series that could just exist on its own. Like, I mean, we're literally on an island for a lot of this show where anything could happen. You know what I mean? I totally see this being like something that goes on for a long time, and it doesn't necessarily have to affect the rest of the franchise. I'm actually fine with it. I'm fine if it doesn't. I'm actually totally fine if it doesn't affect the rest of the movies. This is just such an interesting story that also just happens to have xenomorphs running around. It's like, cool. Sweet, I'm here for it. Rock on. Raggedy Man, thank you for being a channel member, saying hi all. Hello, hello, hello. What's up, what's up? We got Perry Moberg in the house as well. Thank you for being a channel member too. What's up? Saw the Toxic Avenger. I loved it. I also really loved it. Very, very good film. If you haven't seen it, I don't think it was quite a 10 out of 10 for me personally, but I did enjoy a lot of what I saw in that flick. Big things that I loved is it's if you're a Terrifier fan, you're gonna be happy with the gore. You're gonna be happy with that. But I think also if you're like, hey, if you enjoyed Superman, especially Superman, you're gonna really enjoy the Toxic Avenger. It kind of has a similar thing going on with just standing up, doing the right thing no matter what. I really liked that about this flick. Very good stuff. Very good stuff there for sure. I really enjoyed Toxic Avenger. Horror Paradise is saying, I see Neil returning. Okay, so maybe Sydney's dad is back. Roman, I see the killer using Roman as a face about as much as he will with Stu. I see the working title come into play. Scar tissue, Sydney will have dreams and nightmares of everyone. So we're doing dreams, we're doing dreams, we're doing nightmares. Again, consequences. Actions have got to have consequences. If you're going to show me something on screen, how's that going to affect the rest of the story? Because we already know Sydney's traumatized. We've gone through 5 movies of trauma for Sydney. Like we got that. What else are you going to tell us with these dreams? I just feel like it's got to be flashbacks. Like it's got to be flashbacks of showing us something from the past that is going to affect the now. This is a very soap opera-y franchise, and sometimes goes a little too soapy, but I think you got to have a little bit of soap in there in order to tell a Scream story. There's a 1% little drop of soap in here that makes it all work. Kind of like Saw. Like Saw also has a little drop of soap in there to make it all work, make it all a little melodramatic. That you got a touch of that here in Scream. You got to have that to make it all work. Can there be something that has just been revealed from the past that now affects the story here? I really hope so. I'm down for dream sequences, but what are we going to learn from those? How is that going to push a story forward? Is it going to be like I Know What You Did Last Summer, where it's kind of just there because we needed to put Sarah Michelle Gellar in this flick? You know what I mean? Like that's frustrating to me as somebody who really values a good story. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what they end up doing. Hopefully it has consequences. Jace Crawford, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Thank you for being a channel member. You just got off work. Glad I could make it to the stream while live. Hype for Alien Earth tonight. Me too. I'm excited to see where all these things are going. Lot of really interesting plot lines happening. I kind of, what's cool about this show is we haven't even seen a xenomorph in a little while. And I don't even care. I don't miss him. Like there's enough cool shit happening where I'm like, I'm vibing with where this is right now. I don't even need the alien running around. Enough cool stuff happened for sure. There's an episode 4. There's parts of it that kind of felt like filler to me, which bummed me out. But most of it was pretty cool. Like 9 out of 10 of it, not 90% of that episode, I thought was rocking. So I'm excited to see where the rest of the show goes. For Misery Gaming is saying, Jake, do you think Kevin and Spyglass intentionally let people leak the opening to try to repair the damage from the backlash from this year? And this is their true marketing plan. Like they want people talking about it, and then it's all going to come out. I'm really starting to think that people have seen the trailer early, Which my theory on what happened is people have seen the trailer early because maybe it's already at theaters. Maybe it's already in theaters ready to play in front of the Conjuring, and people who work at the theaters are leaking it somehow online. This happened a lot with Screams 5 and 6. A lot of the big leaks ended up coming from people who got the movies early and decided to post it online, like the jerks that some of them were. I think that's likely the case here. I think they're likely watching the trailer before it happens, and then it's just it's out and about. I just wish that there was some sort of security on that. You know what I mean? I wish there was some sort of way so that wouldn't happen. I don't know, man. It bums me out. That's my guess as to what's happening. I have seen an image. That's all I'm going to say. An image of something that makes me think that these leaks are legit too, and that kind of bums me out. Because I was hoping that wouldn't be the case. I was hoping that I don't know, the trailer wasn't leaking online, but I think it is, which is a shame. But that's my guess, is it's coming from theater employees who are seeing things early and are like, well, if I post this online, if I post this on Reddit, it's gonna get a fucking ton of upvotes. You know what I mean? I think that's what it ultimately comes down to. I feel like there's a lot of people who are just like, I'll spoil a movie if it means I get some sort of internet attention. And I think that bums me out, because it's like, man, there's entire communities who are just hyped up for this movie. They're looking forward to it. It's why we get up in the morning for some folks, you know? And it's like, you're going to spoil that, you know, that bums me out. But hey, if we see it in a couple of days on the big screen, then it's not really a spoiler. It's something that the studio wanted us to see anyways. Maybe it is part of some master plan to get us all talking about Scream 7 in a positive light, because I'll tell you what, I can't say anything negative about what I know about this trailer. Things are sounded pretty good from what I'm hearing. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see what it ultimately ends up being. I want to see the footage. I want to see it for myself, and hopefully it all looks good. It doesn't feel hokey or something. It doesn't feel like this return to form isn't going to work, because that definitely is something I'm worried about. I think going into Scream 6, I think that they can only strengthen what's on the page already, and that was cool. That was like, Scream 5 was the base. You know what I mean? It was the cake, and then we put a little bit of frosting on it with Scream 6. That's what worked for me. Exactly what I was hoping Scream 6 would do. It mostly did with the characters and all that jazz. But now we're going back to Sidney Prescott, and I have no doubt in my mind that Neve Campbell's going to slip back into that role. But Kevin Williamson is directing after a lot of behind the scenes shakeups. There might be, I don't know if all of this is going to work. You know what I mean? This was all put together very quickly after a very destructive behind the scenes situations where we're going on. It's one of those things that I don't think it's going to be anybody's fault if this movie doesn't work, but it's a situation that could happen based on some of the drama that happened behind the scenes, and it just has me worried. You know what I mean? I think this is something that is totally plausible for any film that has so much shakeup and so much drama like this behind the scenes to be concerned about. But I hope it rocks. I really do, and I know that Kevin Williamson wouldn't put out a shit product. You know what I mean? I really don't think he would. He understands Scream. I just think it comes down to, you know, everybody else working on the project. so many hats shifted from one person to another. There's a lot of shakeup. That's what I'm worried about more than anything. Not so much the people in charge. Fort Misery Gaming is saying, Jake, did you see all the reels of Art walking around all the random places at HHN where they are nailing all of Art's actions and mannerisms to the T? Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm seeing it, and I'm just thinking to myself, all you fuckers who get to go down there, I swear to God. No, I'm kidding. I'm very happy for anyone who gets to go and experience that. It looks like so much fun. As a huge Terrifier fan, I am bummed that I'm not going down and checking all this out, but we'll see. We'll see what ultimately happens. And I just think I think it's going to be cool. I think it's going to be sweet going down to HHN this year, and I'm so jealous of anyone who also gets to go. Jordan is saying, I remember when they posted the Halloween Kills trailer when they got sent to theaters, and so they just released the trailer early. Yeah. Yep. I covered that. I remember. It was crazy. Crazy times. Halloween Kills was a fun one to cover, though. I had a pleasure. A really good time covering that one. I really enjoyed Halloween 2018. I mean, that was like one of the movies that made me start this. I was just like, this movie fucking rocked. Like that got me into Halloween. I watched that movie and I'm just like, okay, I need to watch more of these crazy slashers, man. I was always into like sci-fi and sci-fi horror and just some of the like weirder stuff like that. And then I got more into the slashers around like late 2010s. And I was just like, man, this is awesome. These are so much fun. Love it though. Perry Moberg is pumped for the Scream 7 trailer. Let's go, dude. I'm excited. I hope it's this week. We'll see. We'll see what's up. We'll see what's up. Terrell Sims is saying, do you think Scream 7's plot should have been 5's? I'm happy that 5 exists. I'm glad that we have a requel movie. I'm actually, to me, I think 7's going to fit in the timeline very well, like beyond that, with everything kind of fitting together. I wish that I wish that we had concluded the core 4, storyline. I was kind of talking about it earlier. It's kind of like the Halloween 4, 5, and 6 trilogy. You know what I mean? It's like, here's this other storyline that's happening with Ghostface. That's interesting. I like a little side story spin-off kind of thing. That's fun to me. I don't mind that. I think the world of Ghostface should open up. I think there's nothing wrong with that at all. And I'm glad that 5 and 6 exist to keep that possibility alive for future movies. But I'm down for 7 being a return to form as well. I think that could be fun. And I don't mind that. I like Sidney Prescott. She's a fun character. So I'm down to go back and hopefully tell a good story with her. I think it's always a little more, I always feel a little more, tense going into something like this where there's a lot of legacy. There's a lot of things we have to honor and respect, and we can't go too far out because we have to honor what came before this with Sydney's story. We can't do anything too outrageous with this character. If there's any character we have to be super cautious of more than any character, like in horror, I feel like it's Sidney Prescott because she has been in most of these movies. So we gotta see what they end up doing, and hopefully they do it right. I'm worried that they're going to get something wrong about Sydney, and that would really bum me out, dude. I'm looking at what they did with Jamie Lee Curtis in that new Halloween trilogy, and I'm just like, I would hate for that to happen to Sidney Prescott. That would really bum me out, and I really hope it doesn't. So we'll see. Mastermind Killer saying, gotta go cook dinner for the family. Have a great day all, and go Buckeyes. OHIO, baby. Let's go Buckeyes. Mastermind Killer, shoot me a message and we'll talk sometime soon, man. I can't thank you enough for what you were saying earlier, dog. That is awesome. For Misery Gaming is going to HHN next Sunday. Rub it in more, buddy. The salt's already in the wound. No, I'm just kidding. From the house reviews, it seems Terrifier, Jason, and Wyatt 6 and El Artista are the best houses. I'm so pumped. I'm pumped too, dude. Rock on, rock on. I wish I could come down there. I wish I could teleport more than if I could teleport, dude, I would teleport into that park all the time. I would just like show up and just get in line for like the Spider-Man ride real quick and then just come back home. I would do that in the middle of the day every day for the rest of my life if I could. I love that Spider-Man ride, is awesome. But anyways, yeah, no, I'm very jealous, but at the same time, I know it's going to be fun. It sounds like this is going to be a really special year for HHN. Got a lot of friends who are going, and I'm hyped for all of them. Hope they have a good time. What else is going on? We got Reagan McNeil is in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the 2, saying the Exorcist shirt, Linda Blair, Reagan forever. Hell yeah, dog. I'm loving all the Exorcist stuff. Really hoping that rumor about Mike Flanagan leaving the project is not true. That would make me very upsetty spaghetti. I don't know if you guys have heard about that or not, but hearing that Mike Flanagan might have left the Exorcist Deceiver project. I really hope not, man. Really, if there's anybody that can save the new Exorcist flicks, it is him. Oh my God. I mean, no one else could make a better Exorcist flick right now. Maybe like an Ari Aster or somebody like him, but like if I was Ari Aster, I wouldn't touch that with a 6-foot pole, dude. No way. You want to talk about disrespecting legacy, man. Whew. Man, I don't know. I'd be really scared to do an Exorcist follow-up. That's a lot right there. That's tough. But that's one of my favorite horror films of all time. It's a top 10. It's still terrifying today, just as much as it was back then. And I totally agree. I think it's one of the best to ever do it, Reagan. Thank you for the $2. Greatly appreciate the support. Go watch The Exorcist again. It's fucking awesome. Perry Moberg is saying, I remember very little marketing for Scream 4. It just kind of appeared out of nowhere. That's what I'm really hoping that they don't do with 7. I really think that if they market the shit out of this movie, it'll be successful. And it seems to be that's the case with this one. If that's what they do, I think this movie's going to make a frick ton of money, man. I 100% believe that if they market it correctly, it could make more than the last 2 films, like without a doubt. We already know that Scream 8 is in the works. It's going to make money. I mean, we know that, but can it make more than the last two? I think that's such a big question right now, especially looking at that Halloween trilogy we've been talking about. You know, each one of those movies made less and less money than the previous entry, which is kind of why no more Halloween movies are in the works. You know what I mean? It's like, what's up with that? Now the rights are somewhere else with Miramax, with the TV show, essentially. That's kind of the next big project, and no real update on that, which is a bummer. But look at something like Jurassic World, where they did make more money. As they didn't make more money, but they made at least $1 billion every single time. So what did they do? They made a fourth movie, Rebirth. And it's like, hey, you know, it wasn't as bad as Dominion. It wasn't that bad. But point being, I think if we want Scream to go on for a while, which I think it can, I don't know. Some people are so like anti-Scream going on forever. I think it's one of the only series I feel like actually could go on for a million entries. I think the way you got to do it is you got to just keep having people come back for more. You have to keep telling fresh storylines that keep people interested. That's the way to do it, man. That's the way to do it. And hopefully this one makes more money. I really think it will. I honestly have a lot of faith that it'll do well at the box office. So besides the potential trailer for Scream, Jake, are you overall excited for Conjuring 4, or do you think it'll be a letdown like 3? I'm actually hearing some pretty good reviews about this one. People are saying it's a little more of an emotional roller coaster, which is cool to me. 3 was a letdown in my opinion because they took those characters too far. They pushed Ed and Lorraine Warren to absolutely insane limits in mediums they cannot exist in. And I think that was the problem with that entire movie. They were like, we're not going to do a jump scare fest this time around. It's going to be like a psychological horror where all this other crazy court case stuff happens. It was too ambitious. It swung too far and none of it worked. It was really unfortunate because I think there was some cool ideas there. And I understand trying something new out for one of the most interesting Warrens cases out there as well. But I just don't think it worked. Conjuring 4 seems like it's a little more of a return to form. And I think that's why I think it's going to work. I still don't like the director. I'm so sorry, but this Michael Chavez guy or whatever, I just don't think I don't understand why they keep hiring him to make Conjuring flicks. He's yet to make a good Conjuring movie. And this one, I'm worried it's going to be no different, but maybe after like 5 of these movies, he's going to get it right. I don't know how many of them he's done at this point, but he's done a couple of them, and yikes. But between, what was it? The Nun, I think he's done The Nun 2, Conjuring 3. I think he's doing this one. There's one more. I know there was one more that he did. I cannot remember it, but I don't know, man. I mean, that's the one thing that has me worried, you know, but the clips I've seen from the new Conjuring look good. I mean, they actually look like it's going to be actually something really scary and really fun, but I don't know. I'm getting worried, man. I hope it's good. I would love one more good Conjuring flick to come back to for sure. So I'm really rooting for this one. You know, I really don't want to add this to the bottom 10 here. I really don't. There's enough movies down there that I've been disappointed with this year. So hopefully that's not the case. Oh yeah, Felix is saying La Rona. That's it. You're right. You are right about that one. Forgot. Oh God. Casey Mack, thank you for the $20, my friend. I really appreciate the support there. You're saying, since they're making a Halloween game, I have a question for you. If you could choose any horror franchise to make a video game, what would it be? For me, I would totally choose Final Destination in the same way of Until Dawn. Ooh, so you kind of like it's a story with different characters and you're trying to keep them out of death's path, essentially. You got to see the Rube Goldberg trap, essentially, before it goes down. That could be fun. I'm into something like that. Love the idea for a Final Destination game. It's Scream all day, for me personally. That's my answer. Basically exactly what you're talking about, Until Dawn style, like already preset storyline, but in the Scream universe. Like, that would be so fun. You're bouncing around to different characters' perspectives, and you get into a chase, you get into a call, you get into a chase scene with Ghostface, all that kind of shit. And you get if you make the right decisions, that character lives, or maybe they die. That would be fucking awesome. And you're trying to figure out who Ghostface is maybe the whole time. Like, that would be so fun. It would basically be like a 4 to 8 hour long Scream movie, but in video game form. I mean, like, dude, no notes. That would be awesome. Would love something like that. If the same team that did Until Dawn did something like that, I would be the first person to buy it. Are you kidding me? That's crazy fun. Murder mystery in the style of like Until Dawn, which Until Dawn's kind of a murder mystery, but it's also more about that crazy story that's happening, all these simultaneous horrors all at the same time. That's what's really fun about that one. You don't even really know what's going on. Like there's so many different twists and turns. I love that about that flick. Or not flick, the the Until Dawn movie, totally different discussion, but the video game, I love the back and forth of not really knowing the horror entirely of what you're actually getting yourself into until like the end. Ton of fun there. Love Until Dawn. But I like the idea of Final Destination too. That could totally work, honestly, in the same way that a Scream game could work. Like you're just, can you keep these characters alive? Can you keep them coming back? Maybe they could assist our main character. Maybe it's like if too many people die, like something can't happen. Like you can't get the good ending or something like that. You know, you have to prioritize keeping these characters alive, or no matter what, you know, Sydney's dead or some crazy shit like that. I don't know. I would be very into a game like that, both Final Destination and Scream, Casey Mac. That would be awesome. But dude, thank you for the $20. I really appreciate it. Just so you know, I will be covering both the Terrifier game, the Hellraiser, 3 games, not both. I'll be covering the Terrifier game, the new Hellraiser game, and the new Halloween game over on the gaming channel very soon. Please make sure to subscribe. Again, thank you for 1,000 subs over there on GullGotha recently. Really appreciate that. Next goal is 10,000. I don't think that's going to happen this year, but we're going to try, damn it. Oh, we're streaming there tonight at 7 as well. So if you're not sick of my voice, if you want to come see us rage at Repo, which is a very fun horror game, stop on by. It's going to be a fun stream tonight at 7. But Casey Mac, again, thank you for the 20. Some great ideas there for sure. Would love some more story-based games like that. I'm playing through The Quarry right now, and that is also a very similar game. Ton of fun. Also has David Arquette. Got some Dewey action in there, baby. Mr. Rick, thank you for being a channel member. Saying in the new content movie, it is set in a town called West Piston, and I moved to Columbus 6 years ago from a town that's 10 minutes away from West Piston. Spooky. The new content movie. I don't know what I don't necessarily know what you're talking about, but that's interesting that you're so close to that. That is spooky though. Wild stuff there. Riley Rage is saying, question, should we be concerned how Sydney is handled in the script? They turned Dewey into trailer park trash and defaulted Gail back to her original self. I mean, yeah, that's a fair thing to be worried about. I'm honestly biggest concern I have. One of the biggest concerns I have about the film. I don't mind Dewey's whole thing. Gail, I'm not crazy about with the last 2 flicks. I just feel like after I don't know. I get it. I get why they wrote her the way that they did. Like Dewey dies and she resorts back to her old self. That makes sense to me, but I just don't know if I really like that plot line. I think they just wanted to get back to the version of Gale Weathers that they liked so much from Scream 2. You know what I mean? Or Scream 1 or Scream 2. Gail has done so much character building since then. She's just not that person anymore, you know? And that's what feels unnatural about it to me. It's like, I get it. Like we all love that version of Gale Weathers that's like sassy and in your face, but she's just a different character now. You know what I mean? I want to see this character evolve and turn into something else. What I liked so much about Dewey's portrayal in 5 was that it feels like a natural progression for a character who's just kind of stuck in life, you know? He's in love with somebody that he can't have. He's bound to be trapped in this small town for the rest of his life, and he can't work anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, how else would that story end up? The realism in Dewey, I think, hurts. It cuts deep, as Dewey even says in the flick, and I think that's what works so much about it for me. It makes me like him even more, if I'm being real. If you didn't like Dewey before 5, you're gonna fucking love him. You're gonna cry over him in 5, and I really thought that was brilliant personally. Probably one of my favorite parts of 5, which I know people disagree. People are like they never should have killed Dewey, but as it stands right now, I think Dewey has the very best character arc but beyond any character in Scream, by far. Just my favorite character arc. It's Dewey Riley all day, baby. Universal Disappointment is saying, hey Jake, hope you're well. I saw yours and then 3C Films video about the Scream Leaks trailer breakdown. No spoilers, of course, but it like 7 might be pretty cool. Still not watching it though. Yes, I'm very excited for 7. What I know about it sounds very good. Lots of positive things, but we don't want to have it spoiled before it all comes out. Now, if these are things that are happening in the trailer, rock on, you know, we'll talk about it when it's publicly released and that's all good. But I just, I don't know. I'm wary because I don't know if I have no confirmation that a trailer is actually coming out. We're hearing a ton of things from third-party sources that conflict. We don't know if a trailer's actually dropping this weekend. It would be awesome if that happens though, because I will totally cover it and I will talk all about these opening scene details that are being released potentially in the trailer, but I don't know. I don't know if that's actually the case or not. But we'll see what's up. We'll see what's up. If what's being talked about is true though, what I will say is it's all very, very exciting stuff that I can't imagine Scream fans wouldn't like. Like there's two things in particular that I'm hearing that I'm just like, yeah, that's fucking awesome. Like that's exactly what we want in a return to form Scream movie. Hell yes. Hell yes to these two very big reveals. So I don't know. I'm most of the stuff I'm hearing sounds good, but it's stuff that I kind of hope we don't have fully figured out just with the trailer alone. Pat and Jester is saying, I would like a 3-person Terrifier game where we get to play as Art the Clown murdering people in the most brutal ways imaginable. You kind of get a little bit of that in the Terrifier arcade game, but it is like pixelated violence. You know what I mean? It's 8-bit violence, I guess I should say. It definitely has an old school like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles feel to it, which I think is fun. But I think you're looking for more like a little more realism, good, like higher graphics kind of thing. That would also be fun. But I am kind of vibing with this little platformer we're getting in the Terrifier universe. I think it's going to be a fun game. Going to be a fun release. Oh, Mr. Rick, you meant the Conjuring movies. I could not, I don't know. I could not figure it out. Can you tell it's late in the stream? My noodle's not working the way that it should. In the new Conjuring movie, it's set in the town called West Piston. You moved to Columbus 6 years ago from a town that's 10 minutes away from West Piston. So maybe the ghosts followed you, is what I'm trying to say. They're in your house. They're going to jump out of your mirrors. Look out. No, I'm kidding. I can't read for shit. I'm so sorry. Thank you for being here, though, Mr. Rick. Clover Animation is saying, this might sound weird, but I hope Tatum will die in 7. Nothing against her, but she must die to hurt Sydney. That would be a big shock. And honestly, I think it would be a very big play for Scream 7 to do something like that. I think that killing Tatum would be just that's the ultimate shock. That's like the closest thing you can do to killing Sydney without actually killing Sydney. And I think that's pretty cool. That's a pretty fucking shocking, insane thing to actually commit to in Scream 7. We need that. We need a shock. We need a big jump, a big surprise. So I'm really excited to see if they're able to find that with something in this film. What's the big shock and surprise of this film? What's that going to be? Is it going to be a surprise character like that who's really close to Sydney dying, that the whole time we're talking about this movie we're like, that's not going to happen, I don't know about that, and then it happens? Maybe that's it. Maybe it could be something like that. Casey Mack is saying, saw Toxic Avenger yesterday. Overall, I enjoyed it. It was a good one. It doesn't quite break my top 10 of the year, but I did enjoy it quite a bit, and I would recommend seeing this one. Lots of good reasons to see it, for sure. Every $1 million that they make on this movie, they're matching it to unpayable medical debt, which is pretty damn cool, and a very big problem here in the States. So that would be awesome. That would be awesome if we could, if more people saw that one, for sure. Kiki Iza is saying, I thought the opening of Scream 7 was leaked on video, so disappointed, TBH. I haven't seen a video, I've seen a picture. That's what I'm going to say. I've seen a picture that has me like, oh, okay, that fucking sucks. I have not seen a video. That's all I'll say. I've only seen a picture of something, but cool stuff altogether. Not cool that it leaked, but cool stuff that I know about. Josh999, any idea when you think we'll get the trailer or a teaser? I'm praying it's Friday. See, here's the thing. If it is Friday, they got to commit to the bit. They got to fucking pump out marketing for the next 6 months like crazy. Like it's going to be nonstop KillJoy Jake Scream videos, or else they're going to lose people. I'm just worried it's going to be a Scream 4 situation all over again, where they just like drop a big trailer. Like right now, they don't talk about it at all until the release, and then maybe a few more things come out. But they got to market the shit out of this movie without spoiling too much. They got to find that line and not cross it. And that's what I'm worried about, is that if we see stuff too early on, we might start to figure some shit out, or maybe a general audience doesn't care enough. The one mistake that Scream 7 can make to where it falls below the last two flicks is if they don't market it properly. I mean, that's what happened with Scream 4. Still made decent money, but not enough to render a whole new trilogy. So I really hope that they market this correctly. They pump out marketing for the next 6 months, because it would suck if we get a trailer this week and then we don't hear anything from the Scream accounts for months. Like, that would be such a bummer. That could really hurt the box office of this film, and I really hope that doesn't happen. Probably the biggest thing I'm worried about right now. So let's hope. Let's hope that they post something throughout. Continue if it is Friday, let's hope they just keep posting shit. They keep doing marketing stunts for the next 6 months. They put a lot of money into this marketing campaign. That has to be what they're doing. Otherwise, they're shooting themselves in the foot, is kind of how I see it. Casey Mack is saying it will either be on The Conjuring or Him, which is my prediction. Him is getting a lot of traction, so it could be before that for sure, but I think it would make a little more sense with The Conjuring. I feel like that's a little more of a surefire bet. Him, it is growing in popularity as time goes on. I'm actually thinking about doing a big video on it. But I feel like it makes a little more sense to be with, if you had to attach it to any big horror release this month, it's probably The Conjuring. Josh999 is saying, I hope they don't kill Tatum. Sydney does not need to lose another Tatum. You know what would be cool about it, though, is that I think so many of us are talking about how, oh, the torch is being passed again. This isn't going to be a Sydney movie. It's Scream 5 all over again. I think it would be pretty fucking cool if they decide to just douse that torch before it can even be passed. You know what I mean? It's just like, no, Tatum ain't getting shit. She's dead. You know what I mean? She's gone. She's a goner. That would be brutal. I actually think that would be pretty shocking, because I think a lot of us are worried that this is going to be a Tatum movie, Sydney's daughter, and not a Sydney movie like how they're advertising it. If they kill the kid, it's a Sydney movie. You know what I mean? There's no doubt about it. You can't even argue that. That would be awesome. But it would be sad. It would be sad for Sydney. But again, we're doing another Scream movie where Sydney's getting attacked by Ghostface. I know she can't die, but I think bad things can happen to her. And I feel like you can't really make another Scream movie if bad things don't happen to Sydney. I feel like that's kind of part of the reason why her appearance in 5 feels so superficial, is like she just kind of comes in, shoots through some doors, and that's it. She's totally fine. It's like, are you kidding me? You know, like, damn, do a little more than that to Sydney. You know, like she's a what is it? She's a tortured soul that always chooses the light, that always chooses the positive path. And I think that's what we love so much about her. It sucks seeing her get tortured, but like, that's what makes her so likable. That's what makes her such a relatable character. Massive Man Studios is saying, definitely got me wanting to do a mini marathon of Scream films after the stream. I haven't seen them in a while. I know them front to back. I have watched them so many times for so many different videos that I've watched, that now when I put them on, I'm almost like just lip reading I'm just like saying the lines before they happen, kind of thing. I love watching them. They're a ton of fun, but I really especially like watching them with other people who haven't seen them before. That's like the most fun. That's the most fun I have with these movies now. I really got to show my fiance these flicks. She's only ever seen the first one, so we definitely got to go through the rest of them sometime soon. David Primero is saying it will be fun if the killer is Tatum and her boyfriend. The kid? Oh no, the kid's Ghostface. Oh man, that'd be brutal. I don't know much about him, says Pat and Jester. Well, what's interesting about it is it's a new Monkey Paw release, Monkey Paw Horror, which is Jordan Peele's studio. What's cool about it is it's like this horror based on like football, which I know maybe we don't have a ton of interest in football here, but like I think what's cool about this is that name another football themed horror movie. There's really not like that's not really a huge subgenre. That makes this one kind of special in my opinion. Seems like a psychological horror which involves like training for for playing on an NFL team, and I think that's interesting. There's a lot of new types of horror that we could get into with this one. I feel like Him is either going to be like a top 10 of the year, or it's going to be something that totally flies under the radar. And I hope it's not the latter there. I really hope it is actually something special. But we'll see. We'll see what ends up happening there. I hope it's something that's good. I really hope it's a hit. I would love another good original horror flick this year. There's already been so many. I mean, oh my God. 2025 has been the year for original horror flicks, man. I mean, oh, man, they have reigned supreme. Without a doubt. KC Mack is saying Running Man is in November. Yeah, I also think trailer could drop alongside that if we don't get it this weekend. That would make a lot of sense to drop it alongside another Paramount release. I honestly don't understand like if I'm Warner Bros, why would be I don't understand being okay with the Scream trailer being in front of The Conjuring. Can I be so real? Maybe it's some sort of deal or whatever, but I just really feel if I'm Warner Bros right now, like they are killing it this year. They are having the best fucking year ever for horror releases, dude. I wouldn't do any sort of, I don't know, but maybe it's some sort of deal. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But man, I just, Warner Bros has had like massive hit after massive hit after massive hit, and Conjuring 4 is going to be no different. This is going to make a fuck ton of money, even if it sucks. Weapons, Warner Bros. What is it? Sinners, also Warner Bros. Like all these, the biggest horror hits of the year. Oh, Final Destination, Bloodlines, Warner Bros. Like, I mean, they are killing it this year. They got to have some deal with Paramount. That's my guess. Anthony is with us saying, I think Anna Camp's character is one of the killers. She's Leslie Mocker. She did what Mrs. Loomis did in Scream 2, had a whole body makeover to change her appearance to get revenge on Sydney. I'm kind of with you, Anthony. That's the theory that I'm really vibing with. I feel like that makes the most sense. We were talking about this earlier, but Scream always has like a drop of soap opera-y-ness to it. And I feel like going back to the original and finding a character who knew things all along and is only now going Ghostface, that feels very Scream to me. That could be an interesting angle to take it. And we've introduced that character after a throwaway line in 5, and it could be kind of fun to rewatch Scream 5 and be like, oh, this was setting up Scream 7 the whole time. It wasn't, but it's an interesting thing to think about. Same writers as Scream 5 as well, so that would make a lot of sense. It's going to be cool to see. It's going to be cool to see what ends up happening with this one, whatever the reveal will be. Pat and Jester is leaving the stream. Thank you for hanging out with us, though. We greatly appreciate you for being here and supporting the page. Means a ton. Thank you. Ty Lee, I'm not about to sign off quite yet. Still hanging out for a few more minutes here. We reached our super chat goal a little while ago, and I just really appreciate the support, guys. Means a ton. So we're going for that full extra hour. You guys are phenomenal. Thank you for the support. Thank you for being for showing gratitude, man. It's been tough. it's been a tough month moving into this apartment and all that stuff. But you guys are just making it happen, and I greatly appreciate it, man. So much love. Pissam is saying, so dramatic. I don't know where that's going, but I need to know. War Monster RE is saying, so I think her daughter is in on it. So like that feels very Jill 2.0 to me. Not that I love me some Jill, don't get me wrong, but I don't know if I want the film to do that exact same thing again. Love Jill. I think one of the best reveals in the whole damn franchise, but I just don't know if I want them to do like Jill 2.0. What's her motive if not to get revenge on the mom, get some internet fame and all that fun shit, right? It's like, well, I want to be you, mom, and all that stuff. I don't know. We'll see what ends up happening, but if they take a swing like that, they need a good motive. If it's like it's her daughter that she raised the whole time going Ghostface, we need a reason for that. I feel we need a good motive. Jeff Young is saying, what is one of the many things that you hope Scream 7 will deliver, Jake? Really two big things. Scream 6, some big criticisms I had of that one is I didn't really love the motive for our characters. I don't even care that I could figure out most of the killers. I wanted a better motive than just revenge because you killed our good boy. It's just like, it's kind of just Scream. The motive is Scream 2 again, for the most part. I think it does add some stuff to Scream 5, which is interesting to think about, but I just overall, I wanted more from that motive. So I really hope we have like a very original motive here. In Scream 7. The other thing too is just genuinely some good commentary on just something happening in the movie space right now. That's something that just we wouldn't be talking about Scream in the same light as we would with all these other horror flicks. Like Scream is this giant, this Goliath, because they were able to incorporate commentary on the genre and kind of make fun of some of the other slasher competition that it had. It did that so well and in such a unique and thoughtful way. Some of the sequels kind of do that too, but not all of them. And I feel like that's where this movie could really pick that up. 6, again, I feel like doesn't really have a whole lot of commentary on the genre overall. And I really hope that 7 picks it up from where 6 kind of dropped the baton a little bit. So definitely two things I'm hoping it does that could differ from the previous entry. I liked Scream 6. It does do some things differently than all the other Scream films. And I think that was like my what really intrigued me about the flick, especially leaving the theater, I was like, wow, it did this, and that, which none of the other movies did. That was awesome. 7 now needs to do the same thing and deviate from a lot of the stuff that 6 did. You know, like that's kind of, I feel like every Scream sequel is doomed to kind of do that though. And I'm hoping 7 does the same thing. Just general thoughts on 7. It needs to do some fresh things to shock and surprise us, as all the Scream sequels need to. Ty Lee is throwing 5 out there. Thank you so much for the support, dude. Saying, I finally watched Nosferatu and thought it was great. Easily my favorite film from Robert Eggers. I think I agree. You know, I hate to say it, but I think I agree. Nosferatu fucking banged, man. I love The Lighthouse though. Like the Lighthouse is such a 10 out of 10. I don't care what anyone says. It's so much fun. It fucking cracks me up. It has some of the coolest visuals, I think, in a horror film from that time period. I love The Lighthouse. Like that and Hereditary are like my 2 favorite, like, late 2010s art house flicks. Like so much fun, so fucking crazy. Great performances too. But Nosferatu, man, it is such an interesting take on that movie. I remember when Eggers was announced to do Nosferatu, and I'm like, that is such a perfect choice. He's going to do something probably similar, but maybe a little more modernized to what Werner Herzog did with it back in the 70s, which also a very good take on Nosferatu. But this was not that at all. What's great about the Herzog version is that it's a little more of that slow building, dreadful terror that you get in the original flick, but just done with a little more, I don't want to say competence, but like just from the 1920s to the 1970s, movie making techniques had just became more sophisticated, and you see that in the 70s take on it, which I really like that version too. But then Robert Eggers comes along and he focuses on one singular element of that original flick and puts it right in your face the whole time. And I think that's such an interesting way to take it. And to me, it shows that Eggers is unpredictable and versatile as a filmmaker. And I think that's why I'm just, whatever he does, I'm fucking there for it, man. This werewolf movie he's doing, I'm there day one, like rock on. I am so lucky, grateful, thankful that I got to see that movie like a month before it dropped, dude. Nosferatu was a ton of fun. Easily a top 10 from last year without a doubt. And maybe the best Robert Eggers flick, if I'm being totally real. I got to pick that one up, dude. I still don't own that, and it's a problem. Loved that movie to death. 10 out of 10. Thank you so much, Ty, for the 5. I appreciate it. I'm glad you finally got around to watching it too. JDC throwing 2 out there as well, saying, I'm enjoying every bloody minute of this live. I greatly appreciate that, dude. Thank you. Thank you so much. Even when, even on the other streams where Scream may not be the focus, we are having a ton of fun all the time. This has been a particularly fun stream though, let me tell you, but we're always having a good time on these streams. And guys, I really appreciate y'all making this a blast. Y'all always make it a good time, and I appreciate that. You know, I get some wild comments sometimes from folks who are just passing by, and it always bums me out because it's like, you clearly didn't watch the video you clicked on. You just wanted to come here and leave a nasty comment for me to read. But you guys are always very thoughtful, and even when we disagree, it seems to be a very good conversation overall. It's just we learn. I think you learn things from disagreement, and instead of just putting up the defenses and getting all nasty, it's nice that the majority of people who come into these streams, we can just have very thoughtful conversations on these franchises that we all love. We never lose that. And that's what I love about the live streams, especially, is we never lose the fact that, hey, we all love this franchise. And even though there's things we disagree on, there's things we want to see in these movies, maybe some things we don't, we all agree that we just want what's best for Scream 7. We want this movie to be the best thing it can possibly be, and that makes me so happy. I don't know, these streams are always, this is the best part of my day, without a doubt, is being able to do these streams. So thank you guys all for keeping a positive attitude, despite the fact that, yes, we're going to disagree. It's going to happen. But I just appreciate the fact that we can have civil conversations about it. Some great stuff. JDC, thank you for the 2. Appreciate it a ton. I'm enjoying every minute as well, let me tell you. Jordan Talks Films is saying, I think the motive in 6 makes more sense than 2, because Bailey even said, it wasn't until I saw what you did to him, he would have accepted his son being killed in self-defense, but Sam went too far. I do like that. I will say, I actually would argue that 6 adds more to 5 than Scream 2 adds to 1. And I think that's why there's an argument to say the motive works better in 6. I know that's sacrilege to some. Some people are like, so some people love Mrs. Loomis, and I think her performance is outrageous, and I think that's the draw to the character. But like 6, they're like, it just adds so much to Richie Kirsch as a killer. Like you watch 6 and then you go back and watch 5 and you're like this dude's so much more fucked up than I ever would have thought. You know what I mean? The way that he ruined his own family because of his selfish desires for a movie franchise that's like whatever, who cares? It just makes him so much more of an interesting villain, I feel, in this universe, with what 6 did. To build onto the character. When you really just dissect who Richie Kirsch is, he's honestly one of the most interesting Ghostface villains, I feel, and it's because of 6. Like 5, his motive and all that, it works so well with doing a requel, but I think 6 just makes him even more of just such an asshole. Such a spit fuck, man. It's like, God, this guy sucks. This guy is a selfish POS, man. So I do agree. I really, the motive in 6, while it does feel repetitive of what they did in 2, it builds onto Richie Kirsch as a character so much. And I think that's what I end up really liking about it. Aim Punch is saying evil dies tonight. Yeah, it does, baby. I love how I'm going to watch Halloween Kills this October, man. I love that film so much. I don't care. You can say it as plot holes. You can say it sucks. I don't care. I have fun with it every time I put it on. It's a great time. I love it so much. It's such a fun, dumb movie. I always have a good time watching that one. Riley Rage is saying, do you think there will be a Ghostface kidnapping? Yeah, I actually think that would be a really cool way to build some crazy tension here. Is Ghostface steals one of the babies or something? Like, I mean, wouldn't that be fucking insane? Oh my God. I mean, that would just be like, what's he going to do to that baby? What's happening there? That would be nuts. Would love something like that. Kind of a way to draw out Sydney. Kind of put her in a trap of some sort. That would be nuts. Surge is saying, Jake, what do you think of the use of AI for the plot of Scream 7? I think that it's going to be interesting to see how they comment on it. It's something that's threatening the film industry right now, and if that's the commentary angle we have in Scream 7, that's really cool. That's like kind of a really that's a really thoughtful thing to kind of poke at. I swear to God, the word going through my head was poke, and that's not what came out. I think that's a good idea. It's a good thing to comment on because AI fucking sucks, and it's ruining a lot of. It's ruining a lot of potential films that could come out because all these companies are like, hey, we're gonna dive into AI, and it's like you're gonna literally ruin that franchise by incorporating that into that. No one's going to want to work on that project. You know what I mean? Who's going to want to work with the software that's actively destroying jobs? You know what I mean? That's a reputation ruining if you decide to use that shit in the industry right now. So I don't know. I want to see, I really want to, I want to see them rip AI apart, AI and deepfake technology, and why it just shouldn't be used for fucking movies in the way that many people are talking about it to be used for. I mean, they're trying to make they're trying to make this thing. What is it? It's some sort of streaming service where you can literally like type in stuff and it just auto generates a show for you. It's like, that's not, that's too much. That's too much user interaction. I think what I love so much about movies and TV shows is that you never know what you're going to get. That's like the best part. I don't want to know exactly what I'm getting. It's the spoiler conversation all over again. I mean, if you're just typing in this happens and this happens and this happens and this happens, auto-generated, I want to see it. That's not fun. You can do that in your brain right now. I want to see what someone else has come up with. I want to see someone else rip open their soul, put it down onto the page, and put it on the screen. That's what I love about movies, even the bad ones. This new I Know What You Did Last Summer. I really didn't care for it, but it was Jennifer Caton Robinson and Leah McKendrick's take on that film. It's how they view that original 1997 film, and they've just amplified the elements that they really liked about it, which was the corny cheeseball elements of the flick, and they've just put that on the screen. I feel like it's missing a lot of things that I like about the original flick, but that's why it has such a love. That's why it is such a different flick and such an interesting thing to discuss. If you type into ChatGPT, write a script for I Know What You Did Last Summer, it's just going to put out some generic fucking dumb garbage that is not someone else's interpretation of that franchise. And that's what's so cool about I Know What You Did Last Summer 2025. It's a film that I might not personally like and I don't think works, but talking about why it doesn't work, talking about the things that it does amplify and focus on is so interesting. We can learn so much about the 1997 film from watching that flick. You can learn absolutely fucking nothing about I Know What You Did Last Summer from an AI generated script based on it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's literally just like it's just a computer analyzing the script and then just like putting little tiny pieces and parts from it all together. I think that sucks. Like, that's not human at all. What I love about art is the way that different humans interpret different things. You know what I mean? You can apply that same line of thinking with I Know What You Did Last Summer to just slashers in general. When I watch a new slasher film from a different creative, I'm watching what this person likes so much about the slasher genre all boiled down to a new story. You know what I mean? Terrifier, Damien Leone, he loves seeing the most brutal kills happen on screen. That's what he loves a lot about slashers. He also loves cryptic lore where we're building on top of whoever this killer was before, and learning more and more and more about them. That's cool to me. But that's the problem with AI. Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox, but how can Scream comment on that? I think, honestly, I think that's one of the biggest problems facing the industry right now. And that's what's going to hopefully make Scream 7 feel fresh, is kind of getting into all that bullshit, you know, kind of dissecting that and showing the villains of the film, literally using it. There's a lot that can be said and pulled from the film. If they decide to go down that route, that could be interesting. Recording Makes Me Happy 247 on air with Scott is saying, hey Jake, why didn't we get a Lethal Collective last night? It was Labor Day and the fellas wanted to rest. But we will be live on Fate Decided's page next Monday. And then we're coming home to Jake's channel the following Monday. So Lethal Collective, we're still doing it. No worries. We were just taking a break with the holiday yesterday. I'm not going to lie. I took a break yesterday too. I put that one little short out and I was chilling on the couch. It was very nice. I haven't done that in a couple of months here. So I think we all needed a little break. I think it was kind of nice to have a chill day. Little Cam is saying favorite Scream sequel, probably 4. Like, I can't see anything topping 4 for me personally. I really enjoyed I really enjoyed 6. I think 6 has like some of the best kills and some of the best just like horror sequences of any of the films, really. I feel like that's not a hot take. I don't really feel like Screams 2 and 3 are scary. Like, I really genuinely feel like our producers on Scream 1 were like, hey, that was such a big hit with the kids, the younger audience. Kind of let's focus on making more like watered down horror movies with 2 and 3, because as you go through that original trilogy, I just feel like they get farther and farther away from horror. It's more of like, let's make this more kid friendly so it's okay for a younger audience to check it out, therefore we make more money. And those movies were very profitable, very very big hits, all 3 of them, that original trilogy. But that kind of, I feel like that detracts from some of the horror sequences in 2 and 3 especially, which is why I just feel like those sequels for me personally just kind of don't hit as hard. There's things about 2 and 3 that I still love that are big staples of this franchise, but I wish they were scarier. You know, I wish the kills were more brutal, where I feel like 4, 5, and 6 really stepped that up. And that was such a big thing for me with those sequels. Like, they all have very good horror commentary. I feel like 2 and 3, especially, I feel like they hit on those regards, like maybe the best of the entire series. But like, I wish there was crazier kills, you know. There's not a whole lot of that in those flicks for me personally. But yeah, 4 is my favorite sequel because I feel like it's the best balanced of that. You have like really good remake commentary. You have some brutal fucking kills, and some pretty decent characters overall. But it also has just the best killer reveal of the sequel. Like, that's the thing that puts 4 above everything else. That killer reveal is just phenomenal. I mean, I have no arguments. I kind of look at Scream 4 and Scream 6 as like the Evil Dead 2013 and Evil Dead Rise of the franchise. Like, Evil Dead 2013 is arguably like the best one in that series because it is brutal. It is one of the hardest to watch films I've ever seen in my life. And I would argue it's even scarier than the original Evil Dead, even though I think that original carries so much legacy, and it's just so impressive that they were able to make that on such a low budget. That's why that original Evil Dead, I think you'd always would argue is the best. But I think for me personally, my favorite one to watch is the 2013 Evil Dead, you know, and it's kind of how I feel about like the Scream sequels. It's like 4 is like maybe the most brutal film in the entire franchise, but I don't think it's the best at the same time. Like I think in terms of a horror slasher where you want some blood and guts, 4 is the one to go to. 6, just like Evil Dead Rise, I think captures some of that energy of Scream 4 that I really like, but it's not quite as much, you know, not quite there with everything. Like the reveal, for instance, Scream 6, I think has the worst reveal in the whole franchise, but it does have some pretty brutal, intense sequences that really work for me and freak me the fuck out. That sequence where we're chasing the sisters into the bodega. Oh my God. I mean, shit. That was like the tension there is awesome. I love it. The ladder sequence, also phenomenal. Great stuff. But I don't know. 4 and 6, I feel like they have those horror elements the best, which is what I love so much about them. 2 and 3, they hit on the commentary and the characters the best. And I think that's why you have people who really like the last 3 movies versus people who really like the first 3. There's something for everybody from Scream, though, and I think that's why it's such a brilliant franchise. That's why it's gone on for so long, and it's also why I feel like it can go on forever. There's so many different things you can pull from to make a good Scream movie, and even though I think I prefer 4, 5, and 6 over like 2 and 3, for instance, in terms of the sequels, I still love things from Screams 2 and 3. I mean, even with taking away a lot of the horror elements in 3, it's basically just a live action Scooby-Doo movie. You still have some really good horror commentary. I mean, they are ripping on the fucking producers so bad. And I think that is so interesting to me with Scream 3. It's still a very rebellious flick, like pretty much all of them have been. And maybe 5, not so much. 5 is not as rebellious, and I think that's why I don't like it as much. But I don't know. I could go on and on. I'm fucking rambling at this point. Holy shit, we've been going for 2 hours and 8 minutes. This is crazy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have a very hungry lady to feed, and I got to get on that. I got to make dinner. I didn't realize she's going to be home literally any minute now. So I got to get going. But guys, thank you so much for the support. Thank you for hanging out with us today. We'll be live again tomorrow, doing a little more of a general stream, just talking horror. Stop on by. It's going to be a good time. We will also be new videos coming out tomorrow on 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. That trailer drops at some point, so we're going to be covering it. So stop on by for that. It's going to be a very fun time. Again, thank you guys for hanging out. As always, don't forget to kill it out there, y'all. Peace out.